You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday night live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Wayne.
Great board gamer.
Oh, we'll allow Rob to make his way in, and he can hit that DJ horn.
Yeah,
it is Thursday night, live call-in show night. We are a board game call-in show where we talk about how you game on Thursday nights. And the first Thursday of each month, we focus in on our top 20 board. So we just finished our top 20 board for 2024. If you watch the January video, the first week in January, you'll see our 2024 top 20 board where it ended. We're starting an all-new board for 2025, and we'll give you a quick rundown of the rules that may or may not apply because we don't care. Well, it's not that we don't care. It's just that we don't hold each other accountable to any specific rule sets.
As long as you rationalize your own rule set, you're good, right?
It's your top 20 board. Whatever you want to put on it by the end of the year in whatever order, it's on you. But we started with the idea of here's games that we play throughout the month that we feel are good games. We're going to put them on this board, and we're going to rank them in how we enjoyed our play of that game or the game itself. As the months, plural, go on, we'll be adding games to the board. We'll be moving games around on said board. And then we'll be, by the end of the year, hopefully, able to get you a top 20 of the plays of the years. Like one game, you may have put it on there just because of how much fun you had with the folks in that game. And then another game might be something that's on there because of just the quality of the game itself. Maybe not the play was super exciting, but you just know this game was so good it belongs on your board. Or you can do like Dan and just throw out all the rules and make up your own thing.
Right. And
Welcome,
generally we do it where once you rank a game, you can't move it unless you play it again, or unless you place other games above it, then it moves down, obviously. But yeah, so
2023, we said it had to be played in person on table for it to get on the board. 2024, we kind of mixed that up a little bit. 2025, we threw that out the window completely and have now said, you know what, however method you played it and you want to put it on the board, it's welcome on the board. Mm-hmm. Welcome, Robert. Welcome, Mike.
Hey. Whoa. Force Ghost in the house.
Woo! And look really loud.
Is it loud? Oh, turn me down something.
Yeah.
I'll get him.
Yeah. Adjust me there, Mike.
God forbid we, check our levels before we start streaming.
Or even be... just even show up. Yeah,
I've been fighting with my computer for the last 15 minutes, so I seem to have a USB issue now. I have too many things plugged into the USB, seems to be shorting out my computer, so I had to unplug a bunch of crap.
Why do you have too much stuff plugged in? You just need a microphone and
I got a microphone, a headphone, a camera, keyboard, and a mouse. I got 5 different things plugged into 5 different USB
ports. My God, use a mouse?
Yeah, I use a mouse. Wow. Desktop computer.
This is some hard-hitting journalism here, folks.
Oh, yeah. Very exciting. Very board game related, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Those USB coffee makers are legit, says Jason Dunham.
Yeah, that's right. Plug that stuff in.
Welcome to the show. We're about to get going with our top 20 list. We gave the folks at home the rundown on how the list work. We thank you for getting in the chat already, Jason. Much appreciated. I will kick us off with our top 20 board. Let me get me zoomed in a little bit.
As we get going here, as you're getting that set up, I know we had several people on the Discord say they were calling in tonight, so I'm counting on at least 3 different people told me either told me directly or told me indirectly through the Discord that they are calling tonight to give us some information. So I'm going to keep a little list and I'll check them off as they call in.
Lies,
like
deceptions,
lies.
Deceptions.
You know who you are out there. You better call.
Yeah, you better.
All right. So January 2025. Got some games played. I'm putting them all on the board. All my games played. I think I'm at 10. Let me do the math real quick. I wrote this list down, so let me make sure I don't mess this up. Yep, I got 10 on the board. So I'm starting smack in the middle of my list here. The first game that going on the board is
Wait,
Unicorn.
Steve, hold on a second. You made fun of me last year for starting in the middle. What the hell?
Well,
He's
no,
going 10
I'm
to
going to
1.
go 10 to 1. I'm not going
Oh,
to do.
he's not starting in the middle. He's going 10 up.
He's not going like 10, 11, 12, then 8 and 17.
Right. For those of you that were not here last year, Mike
Why weren't you?
Literally gapped like the top 5 games. He's like, I don't feel any of these games deserve the top 5 spots, so I'm not putting them there. I'm not putting anything there. And then he started like at 6 and worked his way down. It was great.
I
He
approve
blew
of
my
that
mind.
method. Absolutely perfect way to do it.
Got a method.
If that was the case, then Unicorn Glitter Luck would never make my board. Unicorn Glitter Luck is a hobba game for kids.
Really?
I got to play it with my daughter. It's a roll and move. Pick up pink crystals with your happy unicorns, and she or he with the most happy cloud crystals at the end of the game will win in Unicorn Glitter Luck by Haba. That's my number 10.
That is a great hobby game. I love hobby games.
That
Really?
game got
I do.
played so much at the cafe that we had to buy a second copy. It got worn out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I
She
kind of
destroyed me.
I miss the
I'll have to
age
check it
when
out.
my kid was playing the hobby games. It's fun. All the hobby games.
I'm so happy, like having young kids again. I feel like my collection is so much more refined that I think I'm praying
Hold on. Wait a
I
second.
will do a better job with this
What
next
did
set of
you
kids.
just- What did you
Refi-
just say?
his-
Your
his-
collection is refined?
Refined with
kids
hobby
games.
games.
Are you talking about the collection of children or the games?
Don't look under my stairs.
Wow.
Are children on your stairs?
There's always kids under the stairs.
That's true.
All right. You saw the quality of number 10, Unicorn Glitter Luck.
It's a quality game.
So this
is.
game is not far from that. Going up on number 9 spot, I don't know who the designer is. I don't know where it come from. I played it on the BGA. It is Castle Combo. I'm so sorry for y'all who seem to have a love for Castle Combo. I've played, I think, 3 times now, and I just cannot grok this game. I wholly expect this to be off my board by next month.
So
My
that's
number
just,
9, Castle
just a
Combo.
user error issue. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Problem
think
is-
it's user error. Like,
it's a picnic issue. Problem in chair, not in computer.
oh, it's not. It's the other people's chairs. It's like the AP kicks in and it's super slow, and it's just
play
it's too
async.
much.
I'll say that you can. I'll talk about it because it's on my list. I'll wait.
Okay, good.
Same here.
You'll do the steal. All right. Number 8 is a game that is fundamental in my collection, Palm Island. It is something that I keep as a what do we call EDC, everyday carry. It's something I go around with if I don't want to play on a phone or doom scroll, internet. I just play some Palm Island solo. Palm Island.
Do you have
Awesome
a
little
concealed
game.
Do you have a concealed holster for it?
I cannot confirm nor deny the existence. Actually, I have a leather folio that it stays in. So I guess yes.
I knew it. Yeah.
Had a feeling.
Dan knows me. I feel like everything's got to be leather. All right. This one is number 8. Number 7.
But we'll circle back to that. Everything's got to be leather comment in about 48 minutes.
Okay. Nice.
After dark, baby. Catan Jr. is going on the board at number 7. This was played and taught. So I played with my family, and then I taught it at One Voice with the kids out there. It is just a good version of Catan. It's distilled Catan. There's still trading, but you're doing it with the market and the stockpile. So it's something where you don't have to trade with people. It takes away that anxiety that some people have with trading, but it lets you build roads and buildings in order to win the game. Catan Jr. Number 7.
It's a solid one. Of all the junior games, I think that's one of the better of the Catan Junior, Carcassonne Junior. My first Stone Age Junior or whatever. That's really good.
That one and the Ticket to Ride. My first Ticket
That's
to
a good
Ride.
one.
That's
I haven't played the
those-
Catan one yet, but the Ticket to Ride one's good.
Number 6, which I could have coordinated this better, is Flip 7. I don't need to speak too much about it. We played it last week live on the show. We played it live on the show many times before.
It's only number 6.
That tells you a lot about the next few games here. Number 6, Flip 7. Push your luck game with a blackjack mechanism. Let's see, what does Jason say about my play?
It's played
I've played
55
Castle Combo
times.
55 times.
Wow.
Good job.
What?
6 times in person. And if you want to come to Indiana,
Yeah. See now.
Go to Indiana so he can show you how to play.
Nobody wants to go to Indiana, Jason.
Nah, it's a rough place.
That's true. Indianapolis is fun.
I've got
We can
family
play
there.
online though.
we just besmirched like half of our viewership.
Yeah, well,
2 people. One is Jason.
No, there's 4. I'm seeing 4. But no, I gotta get back to Gen Con sometime, man. I love Gen Con.
Yeah, I want to go sometime.
It's so long since I've been there. All right, Carlos, sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Number 5, Mandalorian Adventures. This is Corey Knizia. This is classic FFG feel, full co-op game. You're playing through a first season of Mandalorian, the show. In the first episode, you're finding the kid, right? You don't even know what it is at this point. You're looking for the package, right? And then you find out it's a kid, right? And then you got to kill I'm spoiling it. Am I spoiling it? Y'all not seen it yet?
It's been out long enough. We're past the statute of limitations.
What's great about this game is it scales so easy between 1 and 4 players because of the system it uses for playing actions. You play actions to 4 different slots. And when you play an action, each action has a number value. If the total of the number values after your turn break 5 in that action slot, you then trigger the baddies. And if a total exceeds 6, you trigger even more baddies, like critical baddies. So you're really trying to balance out how many actions can I get to this action slot before it triggers the bad guys. So it doesn't matter how many players you play with. The cards all stay there. So when I go, Rob's going to have to come after me and see all the cards that I've already played and try to decide which of the 4 actions he wants to take without triggering the baddies. It makes for a great cooperative game. Mandalorian Adventure, number 5.
You say the designer is Dr. Reiner's brother?
No, Corey Knizia.
Knizia.
There's a lot of K's in there.
Knizia.
It's Knetsko, but yeah.
Knizia.
Close enough.
Knizia. Too many consonants. I mean, I feel like that name belongs on the back of a hockey sweater. Like close.
Take it easy, buddy. Take it easy.
Easy there.
All right, number 4. Number 4 was a new introduction to me. It is Captain Flip. I have no idea who designed it. I have no idea who. Actually, it's sitting right here in front of me. I can look at it. All I know is Captain Flip hit off Paulo Mori. Really?
Yeah, there you
No
go.
wonder I like it. It's one of my favorite designers. Holy moly! I got like,
realizing that now,
2 IKEA shelves worth of Paulo Mori games. Holy moly! Great. So this is what Castle Combo should be: fast, light placement. Like I get it, that whole organization of how to play stuff in what order, with some push your luck. It's so much fun to play. Played it in person. Played it on BGA. Captain Flip, my man Paulo Mori. This is my number 4.
Surprised he didn't quickly pivot it to his number 1 since this is man Paulo.
Yeah, now to figure out who the designer was, yeah.
Hey, I'm playing it again. Number 3, Camel Up. Camel Up is a republishing of the game, so like a new version. It comes with some of the expansions built in. I cannot recommend this game any more highly. I love racing games. I like betting games. This one does it really well. It feels like it's some betting racing games. I feel like there's a lot of negative feelings with not with losing. This one gives you so many options on where to bet and how to bet and how often these legs occur. So you're having multiple betting cycles in the game. You're not just betting for the end of the race. You're betting in multiple legs. It just feels so good. Camel Up, number 3. My number 2. Shem Phillips in Ezra and Nehemiah. Ezra and Nehemiah is a Euro of Euro games where you are rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem as well as rebuilding the temple and keeping the altar fire going and during the Torah. And you're doing all of that over a 6-day period with a 7th day of rest. You're playing cards with different colored banners. As you lay cards down, you count up all the banners that are visible in order to take different actions. So trying to coordinate which cards to play at what time in what order to get the most effective actions is so deep and so much fun. I'm currently in a Bible study at church for the book of Nehemiah. We're going through all the walls, all the gates, why it was being rebuilt, the Persian king that allowed him to go over there and rebuild it. So it's like I'm deep in the lore. I'm deep into the game. My number 2, Ezra and Nehemiah. And And my number one is probably going to be a grail game for me for a long time. I want to thank Dan for introducing me this Purple Haze. Purple Haze. What was the name of the company, Dan?
I don't remember now. Phalanx, I think.
Phalanx out of England.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phalanx Games. Oh man, this has got me playing like a Temu version of it, use it in a different Vietnam game because I want to play more Purple Haze.
Timo.
Nice.
It's the knockoff version of Purple Haze. Purple Haze is a Vietnam setting. I'm going to call it a role-playing war game, period. Like you're building your adventure party, you're arming them with weapons, you're stocking them up with gear, you're sending them across a map to hit different objectives and waypoints. Meanwhile, you'll hit an enemy point and have a battle occur, so you shift to a different map where you zoom in real tight into this awesome like war game style mechanism of combat where you're using line of sight. My man Dan busted out lasers for line of sight. Like my wargaming giddiness was just off the charts. I looked everywhere for this game. I cannot find it. They're saying it's coming to retail in 2025. I couldn't wait, so I had to buy a different version. We'll talk about that in This Week in Gaming. When I go through my haul, I'll show you my Temu version of it. But my number one, Purple Haze.
Wow, nice.
Man,
I
that's
wanna
it.
play that
That's
game.
Carlos' top 20. Oh, man.
That's a good game.
There you go.
It's good. We'll be hearing about it again,
I'm
Oh,
sure.
yes.
Oh, ale.
at least once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, Carlos, who's next?
I got Rob next on the list. I don't know if he's ready or not. I've got magnetic
Yeah.
tape.
I can do it. I see.
throw on the board for him.
I couldn't be in studio tonight, but I don't know if you're going to write it down and slap them up there for me. But I've got my
I will.
list. I did some homework here and put it down. So I have 17 that I listed here. I'm going to include for the first time a couple of different things. I'm going to include
17?
I'm going to include some campaign games.
Hold on, let's see if I got enough ready.
I actually had 25 plays, but I'm not ranking everything. So there were some that didn't qualify in my mind as ranking. But I am including 8 BGA games. A couple that I played in person before, but 8 that I played on BGA and completed in the month of January. And then I have 3 campaign games. One is officially going to go in my ranking list. The other 2 I'm going to put down at the bottom, and I guess I could probably start with those. So the 2 that I'm going to rank at the bottom, and the reason for this is because they are such large ongoing games that I could put them on here for the next couple of years because that's probably how long it's going to take to finish these things. And so they're a little bit, I think, of a different category, different class, but I wanted to get them on the board. They haven't hit before. And these 2, I'll just throw them both out there, are going to be Frosthaven and Arkham Horror LCG. 2 incredible games. If I had to put them on my list, they'd probably be number 1 and 2. I mean, I play
Is
these.
that Frosthaven 20?
Frosthaven.
17.
I haven't officially. Yeah.
17. I'm sorry.
19 or 17, 19. Wherever you want to put it up there. I mean, I got 17 games. I would actually probably put Frosthaven above Arkham Horror, just because I've been able to play it a little more regularly recently. Dan and I are trying to get back on track with our regular plays of Arkham, but they're both incredible. It's hard to rate the 2 of them against each other. But like I say, these are both.
You put Frosthaven above.
There you go,
Arkham Horror.
slightly above right now. But if I play Arkham Horror some more, then that may flip flop. But
Slide
anyway.
those up to 16 and 17.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
There you
So
go.
Just
there
pick
you
a
go.
number.
16, 17. Throw those up there. So those will fall off just for the fact that as I play more, regular.
But
quote-unquote regular
the
games.
the argument could be if like say Frosthaven is your number 1, just have it as your number 1 for the year and then put it in the Hall of Fame.
I could. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. Or maybe I just an honorary Hall of Fame. It just goes straight to my Hall of Fame. I don't have to even rank it this year. We'll see.
I guess we're totally making it up as we go now.
Yeah,
We're
just doing it
flying by
off
the
the
seat of our
cuff there,
pants,
but-
man.
I'm
both of
starting to
these
like it
games-
now.
Both of these games are just guaranteed Hall of Famers. I mean, for the last couple of years, I started Frosthaven, I guess, last year. But before that, Gloomhaven for a couple of years that took us to finish that. But just, again, 2 big grand ones. I have one more legacy game that I'm playing right now, campaign game, that's going to be on my list here in a moment. And that one I rank differently because it is a smaller deal. It's 12 plays and you're done. I feel like that's a little different than again, Arkham and Frosthaven, because, again, these games are just such huge, epic, hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. But they're both incredible. I would recommend anybody to try them and hopefully get hooked on them because they're great experiences. But anyway, so moving off of those honorable mentions there that are going to kind of go on the bottom of the list, I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. So at number, I guess, 15 on the list is how we'll do it here, right? Is a game that Dan and I played at a game day. I talked about it briefly before, but a game called Patterns. I don't usually put these types of games on my list. Number one, because they're fairly quick, fairly light. Patterns is probably considered a borderline filler game, and it's an abstract game. I don't normally like abstracts, but this game was a little thinky. It was a little cool about how you were putting things down. You were kind of blocking each other, filling up these patterns, and then you're setting your scoring. The first I forget how many different. There's like 5 or 6 different kinds of pattern. 5 different tiles that you can types of tiles you can put down, and when you put your first one down, you have kind of a scoring marker, one of each color at the bottom, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. And so the first one I throw out, I have to throw out my one scoring, and so if that happened to be the blue pattern, then at the end of the game, all the blue ones that I have connected together are going to be in my biggest group are going to be worth 1 point each. Then the second one I play out, if it's red or orange or whatever color, that one's going to score 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So there's a whole mind game of when to play them, which ones to get out there, what parts of the board you want to prioritize, and then blocking your opponent because you're trying to stop your opponent from stringing together groups of them so that they can't multiply their score by getting long lines of the colors. And so you can decide whether you want to go just heavy on the 1s and 2s, or if you want to try to throw out the 1s and 2s early and then play for later in the game to get more points on the 5s and 6s. But just a fun little abstract game. Again, that's not normally my jam, but a game I enjoyed. I think Dan had a good time playing it. So Patterns is going to hit my list at 15. It probably won't be on the list forever, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. So
yeah, we liked that one enough that we racked it and played it again right away.
Yeah. The other table we were going to play just to fill in while they were finishing up. As we got done, they just had a couple minutes left, and we were like, you know what? Let's just do this again. This will take us 10 minutes. Let's just do it again and play it again. So we reset it and did it a second time. So yeah, it was fun. Next is going to be a BGA game, a game I've only played on BGA. It's a worker placement game called Harvest.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, worker placement, is that what you don't like? Yeah.
No, BGA. Games,
yeah. Oh, Mike's against the BGA thing. So.
Oh, I must only play on BGA, so you're going to really hate me.
I'm going to hate that list.
Too late. Go ahead.
So I played Harvest one time and one time only. It was I started it and finished it in a week or so. There goes Dan. In a week or so. This was a fun little worker placement game. Not a whole lot to it. There's most of the spots are single places that you place on. There are a couple of open spots. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Stegmeyer's. I'm drawing a blank. The winemaking. Viticulture. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of viticulture. You've got a lot of single places you can go. In this one, you start off with you got a board. It's 3x3 with tiles on it. And I think you start out with one open space, and then you have action. One of the actions you can do is to clear forest. They're all little trees on these tiles, so you can clear out a section so that you can plant more and more stuff. You're acquiring different seeds, so you have to go to the market to get seeds, and then you plant the seeds, and you can water the seeds, and you have a fertilizer track. You fertilize your seeds, and then you harvest them. And when you do your harvest, you're trying to. There's a little puzzle game where you're on this. As you clear out the forest, you give yourself more and more room to plant, but you can do it in whatever order you want. So it kind of forms these holes, and the seeds that you're planting, once you water them and they germinate, they have different tile patterns. And so you're playing a little tile placement game where you're trying to fit them in, squeeze them in, and then you get more points if you harvest different types of seeds at the same time. And so, yeah, there you go. You're pulling up a image of it. But so if you can spam just really quickly planting some real cheap crops, like the wheat crop costs almost nothing. It doesn't take any fertilizer. You just water it, and then you can harvest it. But it only gets you 1 point per. And then I think there's 5 different types of crops, and if you they get more and more as they get more worthy, as they or score you more points, they are larger tiles that you have to place. So you kind of have to clear the space for them and then fit them into your board. And then again, you get a multiplier if you can harvest different types of them at the same time. So you take a harvest action, you harvest everything that's ready to go, and you pull them all off, you score them individually, and then you score a multiplier for however many of different kinds that you harvest at the same time. So just a fun little worker placement game. There's asymmetric powers. You can see there's 3 of the characters that you can choose from, but they all have a different advantage. There's about 10 of them in the game. I think at the beginning you get 2 and you choose 1. So a fun little game on BGA. So if you like worker placement and you haven't tried Harvest, I'd say give that a try on Board Game Arena. Next is a game I've played one time in person. Wayne actually, I think, introduced me to this, and then I've played a bunch of times now on BGA, and it's going to hit my list at number 14, I believe it is Bunny Kingdom. Fun little game. I really enjoy Bunny Kingdom. Just a big grid. You've got cards that match, I think it's 100 spaces maybe on the grid. And so I assume you can still hear me. I've lost my video.
We can still hear you.
Good. Okay, thanks. So yeah, it's this USB thing that's going on. But anyway, a fun game. Just you're drafting. I love card drafting. So you're drafting cards. You're passing. You take 2 cards and then pass the rest. You take 2 more, pass the rest. There is some fun for me in blocking. Big surprise. But in trying to figure out, all right, this person really wants this tile to pull together these 2 kingdoms, and I've got this card in front of me. I could probably pick something that might help me, or I could take this that's gonna really kind of screw up what they're trying to do. So I enjoy that part of it, and then I enjoy there's just a ton of cards in there that allow you to score weird things like edges of the board, corner spaces, collecting different resources, and so there's just a bunch of different ways to kind of score points, and at the end it all comes together with a big scoring. And so Bunny Kingdom, there you go, a 7.4 rating on the BGA or BGG. But yeah,
I have the expansion, and I really want to get that played physically, because the expansion has like a little sideboard where you go to like the clouds. And you can do like kingdoms in the clouds. I really want to do it. It's fun.
And this one's really simple to learn. I mean, everything's right there on the cards. It's real simple.
It's very simple to learn. My only knock on it is the scoring can get a little a little funky, a little monotonous at the end. Like this game is like a new trend is kind of like using AI and like photos to like take a photo of the game board and have it score it. This needs that. Like this needs something to like auto score.
Yeah, the scoring
I
can
enjoy
get
playing this on BG. Like I love playing it physically because you have all the little bunnies, you place them on the map. But scoring it physically in person is like, oh god, really? On BGA, it's so because it does all the scoring for you. You're like, oh thank God, So yeah, love it.
Yeah. There you go. Well, Jason says Harvest very thinky, pretty tight. Yeah, I agree. It is tight.
Yeah,
that's something I didn't mention before. It is tight. The worker placement fills up pretty quick, and you got to go get what you need because if you pass on it, it probably won't be there when it comes back around to you. I played a 4-player game, and so it was pretty tight at 4 players. So, but Bunny Kingdom, yeah, I agree. BGA, the scoring easy. It's a little complicated when you're doing it otherwise. So. Next on my list is going to be a game that I played in person one time. I'm looking forward to trying it again, but it's a little low on my list right now. It's going to shock a few people probably, but Nucleum with the Australia expansion. So was told several times that when I played this game, it was going to put Brass to the side, that Brass Birmingham, Brass Lancashire, this was going to replace it for me. And I definitely don't agree. You see by where it's on my list right now after one play. It was fun. It was thinky. It was interesting, but it definitely doesn't replace Brass. I don't even see a whole lot of similarity to Brass. It's got some similarities, but I played with the Australia expansion, which I heard adds a little bit, not a whole lot. But I did feel it was very open, and learning it, it's a fairly complicated game. You'll see it is pretty busy there on the board, building routes, connecting power to try to power different areas. So you've got this the slider board on the left where you can pop different one-time advantages or game upgrades as you go along. But there's a lot of little boards, a lot of little things you're moving around. So it was kind of overwhelming for me to learn it, and so I want to try it without the Australia expansion. I've heard it's tighter that way, and so some people don't like it because it's a lot tighter. But you've played this, Mike?
I was gonna ask you if this was your first time playing it.
It was.
At all, like even without the expansion. But yeah, I would say try it without the expansion. And I still don't. I mean, I played it once or twice, just the bare game or the base game.
Yeah,
it's not a Brass replacement. I don't think it really. I mean, it's kind of like that argument of Dune and what's the other one that it's always compared to? My mind's drawing a blank.
Oh, the water flowing down through the gates.
No. I'm talking about like how they always compared.
Dune and Arnett.
and Arnak.
Yeah,
it's like they really shouldn't be compared to each other. I don't. It's really not a comparison to Brass, in my opinion. But
yeah, that's what people say. Supposedly this is people think a combination of Brass and Barrage, which I see some similarities to both of them, but it doesn't replace either one of those for me. It definitely does some things differently. So,
and the thing about it is like Brass and Barrage are both exceptionally complex games, and if it's combining aspects of both, that's like
like I said, there was a lot going on. It had me pausing many times to try to figure out what to do, and so Jim was teaching me, and we just played a 2-player game. I had to ask him a lot of times, like, what am I supposed to do here? What's the right move? What's the what's the optimal thing here? Because I'm having some trouble figuring this out. So but now that I know, I want to play it again and do a little more on my own and see how it comes out. But yeah, I definitely want to try it without Australia just to see what the difference is. So
hey, made your top 12. Jesus had 12 close friends. This made your top 12. That's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, not bad. Next one on my list is going to be another live play, in-person play, I guess I should call it, Wormspan. So Nick taught me this on, I believe it was January 1st. I believe it was New Year's Day. We got together and we played a 2-player game, and we had I think we had just played Frosthaven or something. We had some extra time, and Joe left, and so we looked at his shelf, and I was like, you know what, I've never played Wormspan, and he had played it several times, so he'd taught it to me. I like it. I enjoy it. I put it right on the same level as Wingspan. It's different art, a little different way that the cards come out, and you move your little adventure down the line and trigger different things. So, but it's 90% Wingspan and about 10% new different stuff, I would say, in my mind. Probably a tad more complicated than Wingspan, which was a plus. I didn't love the art. Again, a lot of people are polarized on the art, either love it or hate it. That watercolor look there just didn't do it for me. A lot of bright, pastel-y dragons. I don't know. I don't like my dragons pastel-y, I guess. I like my dragons a little more brooding, a little more dark, and whatever. But that part wasn't my jam. But the game was fun. The combinations, you can see there on the edges of the cards. You can only play cards in certain areas depending on the highlighted, colorful areas on the left edge of the card. So it was definitely a little bit more to think about than Wingspan. But I enjoyed it, so definitely made my list there. Above Nucleum is Wormspan. Next one is a BGA game that Dan started up and I jumped into, and I'm really enjoying this game. I've played it now a bunch of times. I played it probably several times in the month of January. This is Draft and Write Records. I appreciate Dan.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, turning me onto this one. I'm liking this one a lot. And again, this is a flip and write, roll and write, whatever you want to call it. And it's here
drafting too.
Yeah, and it's this high on my list. And again, these games typically don't make this high on my list. These sometimes sneak in at 18 or 19, and they're there for a month or two, and then they get bumped out. But Draft and Write, the more I'm playing this, I'm probably on about my 6th game now.
Nice.
And I'm really liking the combos. I'm really seeing how stuff comes together.
Need to teach this to me, then. I want to play it.
I think this is a very underrated game that just did not catch on when it delivered from the Kickstarter. I backed it, and man, I mean, I played like 3 games in a row solo as soon as I got it, which is not something I, normally it sits on the shelf, but I broke this one out immediately and got 3 games in when it first delivered. And it's just, I don't know what it is about it, but it's hard to get people to play it in my area. At least they just kind of look at it and they're like, I'm like, man, this has got good combos. And
you think like the Seattle, scene.
Right.
Scene.
Yeah, you would think that, but I agree with you, man. This is a really, really good game.
Yeah, there is a little bit going on. My first game, I won't lie, I watched a video and then I kind of really fumbled my way through it. I think I did pretty poorly in the scoring, but by my second game, it clicked, and I was like, oh, this is how you do this, and all right, this is how you string this together, and this is the combos, and yeah, a lot of fun. I'd never played it in person, so I see here the colored pencils and all that, but so on BGA, you just click the thing and it fills it in, which is nice. But
and if you do ever play it in person, you'll notice like the record texture, like it looks like a like the lines in a record.
It's got the grooves,
that's like textured on the cards.
Oh, nice!
It's really cool. Yeah, they put a little more thought into this one, definitely.
Okay,
no, I want to definitely a good one, Rob, for sure.
Oh, good. I want to play the table version of this. Then, if it's got the aesthetics and all that, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
and I think your experience with your first playthrough is pretty typical because there is a lot going on to learn. I had the same problem the first time I played it. I was like just clicking stuff, or I didn't know what I was doing. But once you get it, it's like, oh, I got to play this a bunch more.
Sounds like we need to do a live play, like a live BGA play one night, and
maybe a live teach of it. So and I mentioned that specifically for that reason, so that if somebody tries it and they're a little overwhelmed on it, don't give up on it. Play it a second time, and it'll click. And once it clicks, it's like, oh, this is how this works. So yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot. So I guess that's my number 10 right now. So not bad. A little flipping right makes it into my top 10.
You got 9 more, and you got 2 minutes to talk about them.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry if I'm running long. Just kick me along. That's fine.
All right, move along.
All right, here we go. Next, this one could be quick. Dune Imperium Bloodline with the Bloodline. All right, next is no, just real quick. This Dune Imperium. A lot of people are going to be shocked that this ends up number 9 here, but I'm basing this entirely off of the play with the Bloodlines expansion, which I'm not a huge fan. Yeah, we played Uprising. The Uprising. So this is going to be Dune Imperium, Uprising Bloodlines is how they listed out.
It was in the search when you pulled it up.
So not to invalidate your list, but Dune Imperium is on your Hall of Fame list.
Okay, well, again, I'm basing this entirely on the Bloodlines play. So this is Uprising and Bloodlines.
All right.
But it gives me one I can just weed out at some point, Wayne. So if it's on there, I feel like I just get rid of it, I can get rid of it. But I wanted to put it on there because I played it. I love Dune, but it's number 9, so it's way down on the list. But this is, like I say, based just entirely on the Bloodlines. So my feeling is Dune's still awesome game. Bloodlines, it's okay. Yeah, so. Next, BGA. I have played this in person before, but definitely have completed several games of it in January. SkyTeam, 2-player game. We've talked about SkyTeam a lot. This is another pretty light game that's pretty high on my list here. But SkyTeam's a great little game. The expansion that came out added some more of everything. Some more modules, some more runways, some more airports. I mean, it's they can keep going with this, and I think they're going to milk this probably as much as they can. But great little fun game. So
I think we're on our 6th or 7th try of this one turbulence expansion.
I'm hoping we got it this time. I mean, we seem to be doing well this time, so I'm hoping we can finish it. But yeah,
this is one that I did. Oh, who did I cut off there? Sorry.
No,
go ahead. Yeah, it was me. But go ahead.
I was just going to say this is one that I keep hearing about, but I need to find someone to get on the game online because I want to play this.
I got you, Dan, because I hate being morbid about this, but like with the news lately,
wait till they come out with the
it's got me thinking about it.
The Doge expansion,
the Alaska Air module where the doors fly off.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about flying to Vegas next month right now.
Yeah, I know.
Sure you
I really
are,
want to fly to California.
I just got word that I have to go to Alabama for work. And I'm like, that's only a 9-hour drive. I think I can do that.
Are you sure you want to go to Alabama?
You ain't coming back.
You got a purty mouth. SkyTeam, number 8.
That's SkyTeam, absolutely. So next,
so good.
Is my last Legacy game, and this is the one I was talking about. 12 plays and you're done. Clank Legacy 2. I'm having a lot of fun with this. We got a group of 4 people playing through this. Yeah, Clank's fun. Yeah, Electric Boogaloo. There you go. That's the semicolon / Electric Boogaloo. But fun game. This
How many scenarios are you into this now?
We are, I think, 6. 6 or 7.
About halfway through.
So we're about halfway through, and we're having a good time. There is a lot of story. There is a lot of reading out loud to other people what your story is, because you all kind of have different storylines you're going through. And as you complete different objectives, pick the thing up and deliver it here, you read out a little paragraph or 2. And so I think that is slowing it down. And so when we're doing that, I can see some eyes roll at the table like, okay, come on, want to get this game done. I mean, these sessions are taking 3 or 4 hours, and the story is not helping so much. But it's a fun time. It's Clank. You're stickering the board. It's Legacy, so you're making your own version. The board is 2-sided, so you've got a kind of an above ground and then an underground thing that's going to happen. We haven't flipped the board over yet, but I think that might be our next one. But this one's pretty fun. Our first side of the board is pretty stickered up. I don't know that there's much more. We're actually stickering over stuff now, so we're gonna probably flip it and start on that second side. I would imagine any game now, but Clank.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want in your group playing Legacy game is a bunch of people that really don't want to listen to the story and just want to get going.
Legacy
that makes it fun.
Screw that crap.
Yeah. But it's a good game. It's Clank. So if you like Clank, Clank Legacy is the way to do it. If you can get a group of 3 or 4 people together, highly recommend. So yeah, we'll be done with this one hopefully in a couple of months, and I can give my final report on it.
Sweet.
Next, a game I've played several times in person, but I've completed, I think, 1 game in January on BGA, and so it's making the list here at number 6, I believe, is going to be Obsession. So we've talked about Obsession a lot. Yeah, a lot of us have. I think almost all of us have played now. Has everybody played Obsession?
I have not.
Not
I want to so bad.
So good.
That's another one we got to start up and teach you guys. Yeah, on BGA.
I definitely would teach you, man. And I'll play it physically anytime you want to. I own everything for it.
Somebody said it was on BGA now?
It is on BGA, yes.
Yeah, I played there for a while.
On BGA, yeah. I played probably 5 or 6 times on BGA at least now.
The expansions are on there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can put all the different things in and take the different things out. You can play the long game and the short game. It's all in there. BGA allows you to, when you set up the game, to do however you want. And so there's even promo stuff, I think, in there. I played a game that had some promo cards in it. I was like, I've never seen those cards before. Yeah. So they've got everything in there. So they've done a really good job with the implementation. Fun game. It's a little long. I played in person a couple times. It's a long game. It's going to be probably a 3+ hour session. But the time kind of flies for me in this. It's just thinky enough, and a lot of watching what your opponents do, and just trying to outscore them at the end. It's all just a big scoring at the end. So yeah,
I just played this physically on February 1st, so it's not on my list for January, and it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes with the teach with 3 players. So it can be long, yeah.
Okay, that's probably about right. So, Obsession, great game. Top 5 here. Next one, a game I have only played online, Federation. A game that Mike taught us to play, taught me and Wayne, and I can't remember if anybody else here was in on that one, but we played that on BGA last year, and I've played this over and over and over. This is one of those games that I almost have a continuous cycle, and when I finish one up, I'm looking for somebody starting a new one.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on in this one. This one is on the heavier side. There's lots of different ways to score points and different paths you can go down. Some games you're playing, there's 5 or 6 different planet boards, and from game to game you can focus on one. You can try to spread out and do several. On a different game, you may focus on a
tracks.
Yeah, completely different track, completely different board. But it's a busy game, a lot going on. But there's I like the brain burniness in this one. I like.
Yeah. Okay,
and I was just to finish off, I like playing it on BGA because I can kind of take my time and look at everything and think about everything and not feel pressured to make a quick move. But
I almost feel the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So I've played this game. I haven't ranked it, and I'll talk about my BGA when it's my turn. But I hate jumping in here, but it's like because I didn't rank this game and I've played it a ton. And it's like I feel like I get lost on BGA because you have to tab through all the planets.
Yeah. I do.
And so I end up focusing, and then like the end of the game happens, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about the green planet where you can actually score a ton of victory points, and everyone else has done all the scoring on the victory points on those. Oh, I guess I'm going to lose this game. Like I think I'm in a game right now with you, Rob, and I'm like,
yep.
Everyone else is in the 70s, and I'm in the 20s, and I'm like, that's because I forgot about the green planet again. Because it's like it's not there in front of you. You have to like.
Yeah.
Well, every time I play, I find myself clicking on pretty much every tab and being like, all right, where was that on here? Where was that on this one? Where was I on that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I forget every time.
Well, click those tabs. They're all up there up the top. So, all right, Federation, number 5, top 4. Number 4, a game I have owned for a little while, several years, and I've only played it on BGA. Another one I know Wayne likes a lot, Maracaibo. I'm really enjoying Maracaibo. That's another game I have almost on nonstop circle. When I finish one, I'm jumping into another one, and this is just a fun little pirate themed Great Western Trail, I guess, is what it's constantly compared to, and it basically is Great Western Trail.
It's a successor to Great Western Trail.
Like the crappy game that is Great Western Trail.
I like Great Western Trail, but I like Maracaibo better. So how about that? So Maracaibo is a better version.
Fair enough.
It's the Caribbean thing that makes it nice.
Yeah.
Pirates, it's good.
Pirates and pillaging and plundering and fighting, or you can go peaceful. There's an explorer track at the bottom. You can just do things that boost your movement on the explorer track. You get points for finishing that track first. So another Euro. You're doing a lot of resource generating, transferring some things to some things. It's not pick up and deliver so much. I mean, you do have cards, and as you go into ports, you can trade in the cards for the tobacco or whatever to upgrade your shipboard, which is kind of cool. You're pulling things off your shipboard and completing different things. They've got little side quests you can do, but this one's a fun. It is a kind of a big rondel. You're just going around the board in circles and circles and circles, kind of like you do in Great Western Trail. You go up, you deliver, you come back, and you start over again. But Maracaibo, great game. I still am wanting to play this scenario where there's a deck of cards that you play through, and they give you different things to do. I'm dying to try that at some point, but I got to get this to the table and actually learn it physically, because BGA does everything for me, so I got to figure out how to manually run through it. But
have you not played Maracaibo physically?
I have not. No, I played it probably close to 10 times on BGA, but yeah. I do too. I just now I've got so used to playing it on BGA, but I do want to play. I want to get some people together and play the physical version. So let's make that happen sometime. Top 3. Number 3, Ultimate Railroads. Another game that Dan actually introduced me to a couple of years ago, I think. I believe on BGA. I played on the tabletop several times, but any of these railroad games are great. Ultimate Railroads has, I think, several of them in the package. I think that's the version. Okay, so
America,
you can play different.
Japan, a few other,
Yeah, but Ultimate Railroads, a great game. We've talked about this before, so I won't talk about it too much. But another worker placement. You've got your own personal board you're building up. You can go different, I think 3 railroad lines. You can decide which ones to move on. Actually 4. But you...
Was this that Russian Railroads game we played?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, it's Russian railroads, but there's other. It's not just Russian. There's other ones.
Oh, so it's like Ticket to Ride with different maps.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Basically, different player boards.
That was
on
a
it.
great game.
Yeah. Ticket to Ride or Russian Railroads?
Russian Railroads.
Oh yes, yes, yeah, exactly. And so Ultimate just gives you different twists on it. The railroads have different benefits. They have some different upgrade cards, some different scoring parameters.
Different people, got different materials you're using. Like that was so good.
Yeah.
I know it's not like this game, but speaking of train games, have you ever tried Age of Steam?
I have not. Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
That's a game I think you would like, man.
Yeah,
okay.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
more complex than Ticket to Ride and maybe even this, but it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a classic. I got to try sometime. I got to find somebody maybe with a copy of that. So
yeah.
But that's my number 3. Number 2, we've talked about before, Purple Haze. So made Carlos's number 1. It's making my number 2. Purple Haze, a great experience. I mean, this is an experience, and I know that there's a lot of replayability in it just because you can take different paths. You can try to do different things. I do feel like and again, I've only played twice now with Dan leading the charge, but I do feel after probably going through the whole scenario a couple of times, I'll probably feel like I've seen most of what it has to offer, although I don't know. I mean, we'll try it and see, hopefully sooner than later. And I know William wanted to get in on a campaign of this, so hopefully we can maybe get with him and get one going if anybody else wants to jump in. But I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Dan taught me one-on-one, and then Dan taught Carlos, and I jumped in on that game and played. But as Carlos, all the things Carlos said, it's just a great experience, great story, almost like a choose-your-own-adventure. You're rolling some dice, so there's some luck involved. A lot of luck mitigation, but just you build a character. It's almost like a little RPG. You're really playing through a scenario, but I enjoy it because it has a board, it has hexes. I can physically see what's going on for the most part. There's some story going on, but just a great game. I'm looking forward to playing a lot more of this in 2025.
Are they going to do another Kickstarter on this one or another crowdfunding?
I haven't heard anything. Dan, have you heard anything at all about it?
What I saw in articles in the news was a retail is coming in 2025. So they will have, with expansion. So I'm already seeing some pre-order spots or some of the campaign, the what is it called, the crowdfunding campaign that the retailers did. Like they already sold out of their expansions and stuff, but they're talking about restocking all that with an actual retail release.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. And my number 1 is going to be SETI. So a game I've talked about recently. But the more I'm thinking about this game, the more it's like, boy, I got to play this again. And I know, like, Jim has played it several times. I've seen him posting. He's played it 3 or 4 times this year already. I know Samantha's played it 3 or 4 times this year already.
Yeah.
They're raving about it as much as I am. This game is pretty sweet. It's got a lot of table presence. You can just see from the pictures here, some nice chits, dual layer thick cardboard boards, nice textured cards, just the whole feel of it. All the wooden components, the little spinny parts there with the galaxy spinning around, the discovery of the aliens. This is kind of a bit of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different stuff. And again, sometimes I feel like that kind of thing can be too much. But SETI right now has me thinking about it when I'm not playing it. And
there's a lot going on that board right now.
yeah, there is a fair amount out there. So our first playthrough was a good. It was probably close to 4 hours playthrough. It was a 4-player game. So once you know it, you could probably get it down in 3, maybe 2.5 hours with 3 or 4 players. But I enjoyed it. I know Samantha said she thought it was a turn too long. You play through 5 eras, I think 5 cycles, 5 eras. She thought it was eras. She thought it was about 1 too long. She said she was getting a little bored with it by the end of it. But I don't know. This is one, again, I keep thinking about it. I want to get it back, get it played again. I've only played it once, and it's blowing up the charts now, as y'all can see. I think somebody, I haven't watched it all yet, but somebody said it's in Tom's top 100 already.
Yeah, a couple
maybe
people,
even. Yeah, so.
It's already in a 214 overall, so it's going to be by the top 100.
It's going to keep climbing. Yeah.
Michael Fortino doesn't regularly message me about games, but he messaged me about saying, this is a good game. Like, you got to play this.
I saw him talking about it in the chat, too, that he's played it several times already. They've got a copy at Armada. He said that in the library, so if anybody wants to come up there and try it out. So I don't own it. This is one I'm thinking about. So, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, that's my number 1.
I have a video about that coming out soon.
Sweet.
Nice. Excellent. So that's me.
All right. Rob's top 20. At this point, we will open up the phone lines. I'll be screening
and that's
phone
the
calls.
end of the show. Thanks, everybody.
There we go. We're all done. And took up the whole hour and a half.
An hour, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to mess with my camera here real quick.
Rob's going to talk real quick.
I'm going to let you know real quick. I'm going to mess with my camera while I'm off here just to see if I can get it going again. So if I drop out, please let me back in.
No, the aesthetics are much improved right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
You like that? You like just the voice only?
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Next.
That was a joke. Phone lines are open. 813-618-7099 is the number. I know Rob said some folks wanted to call in, so I don't want to keep the phone lines blocked too long. I will screen calls, and then in between Wayne's top 20 games, we'll bring you in. So when you call in, Wayne will be talking. It'll be a minute, and I'll bring you in, okay? So don't worry. We got you.
Yeah, so please call in and interrupt me, and I'm only going to talk for about 5 minutes anyway, so I'm going to go quick through my top 20. So I'll be quick. I played 17, 18 different games this month physically. Yeah, he's going to time me. Look at this guy. So
glad he didn't do that to me.
I know, right? I'll be quick real quick. What I did is mostly physical plays, or if I counted a BGA play, it was a game that was new to me, a game that I don't own, that I have never played before. If I played it on BGA and learned how to play it, I might count it. So, for example, like Stone Age, I own it physically, I play it physically. If I played it, I played a copy of it during January. I didn't rank it because I didn't play it physically. So that's just my rationale of how I'm including BGA games. So my number 12 game. So I played 17, 18 games physically and a few on BGA. I think I ranked about 12. I ranked 12 games. So my number 12 game is Flowers. It's a very quick kind of tile placing almost. There's 3 decks. There's 2 face up and 1 face down, and you're picking off cards. And there's colors and numbers, and you're kind of placing them in a pattern. And if you have the 4s in a row, they score. But if you have another set of 4 or another 4 next to it, it would cause you negatives. So it's kind of like what's the game where you're trying to match the shapes and colors? Anyway, can't remember the game right now because my brain's not working. But you're trying to place the flowers next to each other to score points based on numbers and colors. And so it's a quick tile placing game, very quick. I played it on BGA a bunch. It's been enjoyable, but it definitely will fall off my list pretty quickly. Number 11, Castle Combo. This one is down my list. It's
good.
It was
Carlos is championing this game.
Yeah, I'm a little with Carlos on this one. Is I like the game. It's fun, but it's like it's supposed to be this quick fun. Like it's 9 cards. It's a 3x3 grid that you're placing, but the amount of thinking you have to do.
You can't think of it like that.
But I am, because I'm like, for a 25-minute game, far too much thinking involved in this game.
I like the thinking.
25-minute game. It's way too thinky for a 25-minute long game. I enjoy it. I'm liking playing it, but it's a game that I definitely wouldn't own, and I don't even know if it's a filler because I can see this taking way more than 25 minutes with AP people.
I think it would be a filler if everybody knew how to play and has played it multiple times.
Multiple times, and
so could TI4. But I mean,
no, I'm not going there. No, so I enjoy the game, but like I think Z Garcia from the Dice Tower has this like way up his list, and I'm like, I get it, but it's very pretty. The artwork's nice, but it's the combinations and trying to figure out like, okay, if I take this card, it's going to score this, but if this card score that, it could be very AP prone for a game that's supposed to be 25 minutes. So I enjoy it, but it's not long for my list. Number 10, Rat Jack. I played this a bunch with Dan. This game I like. It's kind of a trick-taking type game, right? I think it's where it's not. I guess that's not the best way to explain it, but
it's blackjack.
It's blackjack kind of. You're trying to get to a certain number value, but you can either manipulate your cards or the other person's cards, and the cards have special powers. When you flip them over, they cause you to either cover cards or move cards or kick people's cards off. So it's a fun little game. Again, this to me is the kind of filler 15 to 25 minute game that Castle Combo's billed as, but this is not nearly as thinky as Castle Combo. So if you gave me those two games and said, here's these two filler games which you're going to play, I'm going to play Rat Jack anytime. So I enjoy it.
But don't take that as a oversimplified game, because there are things you can do with moving chips and using abilities. So there is thought and depth here, but it does it so much quicker than Castle Combo can.
Yes. I enjoy it. And I know Dan enjoys it, and he's beaten me a bunch of times in this game. I'm still like, I think I think Dan has a forever game with like me and him and one or two other people, and we've probably had like 10 of them this month, and Dan's won 8 of them, and I think I won 1, and someone else has won 1 or something. So it's definitely something that you get better at as you play it, or if you're used to these kind of games, you get good at. But I enjoy it. So Rat Jack.
Jason
10.
said Z had it ranked as number 19. It's number 12 on Jason's list. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
That's Castle Combo. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Castle Combo. I'm sorry. Yeah, Castle Combo. Yes.
Yep. So my number 9 is Red Rising. Surprising. I know a lot of people. A lot of people.
Wow.
Go nuts on this game. This game is amazing solo. This game. Who's beeping? Oh, this guy. Yeah, thanks.
So are you playing this at home solo, or are you playing a BGA solo?
No, it's not a BGA. I'm playing it at home solo.
Oh, okay.
This game has an amazing solo component. I've played it 4 or 5 times.
It's also good at 2.
It's
Wayne.
good at 2 and 3.
Like even Mitchell, Beans and Ice founder.
Yeah,
he and I have played it on Zoom. Like where we have our cameras on our boards, and he has his deck. I flop the deck. He pulls out his cards, and it plays so well at 1 or 2.
Maybe 2, not
and
3 or 4.
No,
I don't know.
3's fine. 3's good. I played 3. I would never play this game 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
never gonna play.
I would never play 4 again. Yeah,
never. But
1 or 2 or 3.
maybe. Yeah.
The solo version is really good, and at 2 and 3 it plays well. It plays fast enough. I can see where once you get to 4, 5, 6. This game re-implements a different game. It's
Fantasy Realms.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fantasy Realms, hands down, at bigger play count is fine.
Yeah.
I also love the books, the Red Rising books. So it has the theme with the gameplay works for me. So I get it. And look, I mean, overall rank, this game is under 1,000. Now, granted, maybe the Stonemaier curve, but this is a fairly well-rated game. It's just really not good at 4, 5, or 6. It's one.
Which version do you have?
I have the retail version. So
with the plastic,
the first version,
so much better because the metal you can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Heads up, your call-in number is going straight to voicemail.
Oh, I totally missed it. I see. I missed a call.
Sorry, we will fix that.
Carlos doesn't want this.
Hey, listen, we were talking Red Rising, and I was not into the phone at that moment. I was defending the game against the hordes of attackers.
I don't think my Red Rising is destined for my top 20 list for the whole year, but I paid $8 for it at the Christmas sale, and the amount of times I played it solo in the month of January alone made it worth the $8. So that's why it's on my list.
All right, we got a caller. Caller came in. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Oh, my name is Ace and Deuce. I'm calling from parts unknown. I'm just here to say hello. And I saw your stream, and I just wanted to say that I immediately sent you guys to my friend who can't walk past a board game that he hasn't played before without buying it. You know what I
we
mean?
appreciate that.
That's my kind of
Immediately,
people.
this is where you
That's
guys
my
got
kind of
them to.
people.
So just know that you're coming into your kin. It's okay. Like I'm going to be that man when I'm old enough to have the bunny too. You know?
Okay, all right. I can agree with that.
Yeah, but good
Awesome.
God, it's like I just really wanted to come in and just say hello and just like just ask you guys like, how do you guys feel about like playing games on like Tabletop Simulator?
Perfectly fine.
We are all well. Okay, I won't speak for everyone. Totally fine with it.
Yep.
I prefer in person because I work on a computer all day.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
there is no problem. I know
During
some folks
COVID.
get hurt.
In person is always going to be better, right? You get to have that level of just hanging out with your friends there and like all the other things that come with that.
But we've had
like,
some memorable
I feel like it's
moments.
still a good thing to do.
We still have memes that we share with each other from games we played on TTS.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Thunder Alley seasons
Thunder
that
Alley.
we did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have some awesome because we do
I
it
have
live.
a whole folder of saved objects on Tabletop Simulator that I can't open or unplug company.
Okay.
There you go.
I hear you.
It is.
And I
It's really funny. One of my
Amazing.
favorite ones is when someone's being a dickhead at the table. You just drop on the golden dong that's got a fountain of tea.
There you go.
Please don't give Dan ideas.
That's Dan. That's Dan all over it.
You can call in every week
That
now.
one was funny enough, made by one of my buddies, and he told me specifically that I have to be careful when I take it out because he doesn't want more people having this.
Now pull that dong out anytime.
Yep.
I think it's
It
amazing.
is 10:04. It is after dark.
after
So
dark.
if
There
you
we
have
go. After
kids,
dark. Yeah.
this is when you stop listening.
10:04 Eastern.
I work in
And-
IT and I sit at a computer all day and I have one monitor here where I'm working, and then as things are running, I'm playing BGA on the other side. And then as a tangential, I've said it past on the last few weeks of the show. I have an elderly mother who's not well, so I'm having to care for her. So going to physical game days is kind of rough right now because of my schedule. So playing online, playing Tabletop Simulator, playing on Steam, playing on BGA,
You're
helps
getting
me
it
keep
in
that
whenever you
sanity.
can.
Yeah.
Ace and Deuce, you are welcome to call in anytime. You made it a call-in show today. Achievement to
I
you.
just also wanted to say one thing before I go. That since you guys do enjoy Tabletop Simulator, there is everybody loves Cthulhu. It's an interesting tabletop card game where it's a hidden role game where everybody is a Cthulhu cultist except one person. So it's like the opposite way that those games usually end up working.
Okay.
But it's pretty fun. And what's funny is that I was going to tell you guys to like install it on the workshop and play it, but then I messaged my buddy who is the developer of it, who I met literally just through playing Tabletop Simulator, and he was just trying to get people to play his game.
Nice.
And then I met this dude, and I just messaged him because I loaded up the game, and I was like, a few of the files are broken because he must have just updated it yesterday, and it's broken.
Oh.
So give it a day or so, and then go check it out.
Nice. Yeah.
Sounds
I've definitely
good.
heard of it. I've never played it, but I've heard of it.
It's really fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, I hope you guys
very
all have a
cool.
wonderful day. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Please don't be a
Appreciate you calling.
stranger.
Thank you, man.
Parts
I'll be around.
unknown.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah, I'll
Zeus.
follow you guys soon. I'm at like the max amount of follows on Twitch. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I got unfollowed.
You can also follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube too. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'll do that. Hell yeah.
We'll take it.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you for
Appreciate
calling.
it.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
calling.
you.
that's awesome.
All right,
Love
I
it.
gotta know. Before we continue with Wayne, did anybody have on their bingo card today, hearing the words, "When I pull out the golden dog and put it on the table"?
Dan might have had it on his bingo card, but
And it does a
Dan
gold shower.
probably did. Yeah.
That was not on my bingo card for
Did you think
today.
that was going to come up tonight? No?
good stuff.
Bingo.
Anyway, so back to Red
Thank you, Ace and Deuce, for making it a
Thank
call and show. Phone
Appreciate
lines
you.
are back open, 813-618-7099.
All right, so that was my number 9. My number 8 game is Sky Team. So
There you go.
I love this game. This to me is a fantastic 2-player game. The tension of it, and in person or on BGA, just the tension of it is going like, okay, do I place this 4 die in the pitch versus the speed, or do I wait for Rob to put the die first? And God, please put a 5 here because I only have another 5. No, you put a 1. That means I need to re-roll my die, and like it is tense.
I need to learn this game. I still haven't played it, and I want to play it.
I can't think of another board game that leads to the tension that this game does. Like, because you're sitting there and you have your dice and you're going, okay, I need to put a 2 here and a 4 here. Like, you only have 4 dice and you have to put 2 in either the pitch or the speed. So you only have 2 of the dice to do flaps and move planes out of your way. The tension of you can't talk. So that other person, you have to kind of like hope that they're feeling what you're playing. And I can't think of another game that leads to tense moments in my brain than this. I really can't. So I mean, this game could only go up, I think, in my mind because it's really is one of my favorite 2-player games.
It's also the theme of it, right? So like, I think of like The Mind. Right? You can't talk. You're trying to coordinate playing down cards, but the lack of theme there makes it so like does it really matter? But here you throw in that theme and you're thinking, okay, I've got a plane full of people. I got to land this thing, right? Yeah. It kind of immerses you in that stress. It really makes it fun. I need to know more about what Jason commented on there. Sky Team real-time scenarios are intense.
I think the most recent expansion has some stuff where you can play
real-time.
Like, yeah.
I can see Robert throwing up.
So good. It's so good.
No, not for
so
me.
Good. Rob and I are playing constantly on BGA and we love it. So Sky Team love this game so much. And it's a game where it's like you fail and you're like, oh, like we've played the same. Rob and I have played the same scenario at least 5 or 6 times in a row. We've failed every time, and like, but we've gotten better at it, right? You're starting to get, and it's like the last time we got so close, we had everything solved.
Yep.
But we were 1 die placement away, and it's
Mm-hmm.
It also benefits from playing repeatedly with the same person because when you see them drop a 5 and then a 5, you're like, okay, he's stuck with high stuff.
It is
like I know what he's telling me here, so I'm gonna have to place the low ones on the throttle to kind of keep this thing slow.
So our Ace and Deuce, a new caller. So Sky Team is one person is playing the pilot and one person is playing the co-pilot, and you have 4 dice that you roll behind a screen, and you have to place the dice in your speed, in your pitch, to move planes out of your way. And the whole game is you're trying to land a plane, and the box comes with different airports and different weather effects and different like all kinds of things that will screw you up, and you have to kind of go back and forth placing dice.
You can't talk.
You can't share information. It's like you're trying to like, it's like this, you're playing a trick taking game where you can't talk, right? Spades where you can't talk across the table. So the tense moments of this game are fantastic, and that's why it's on my list.
I just realized Dan changed his name.
Nice.
Oh, man.
All right, so number 8, Sky Team. My number 7 game, Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
Oh, nice.
Yes. This is a cooperative game where you're playing firefighters trying to put out fires in these different scenarios. And I'm continuing to kind of like keeping this game fresh in my mind because in the next month or month or two, I should have the Legacy version.
Legacy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which I know that'll be Rob's like 10th campaign Legacy game.
Oh, I'm in. Put me in there.
Man who hates storylines and themes.
Yeah, exactly. So Carlos taught me this game early in our gaming career. I'd say we'd only been gaming for a year or two, and somehow I don't know how I got a copy of it or something, and he taught me. Or we
Barnes
played
and Noble had it on sale.
Maybe I might have picked it up because I saw it on some lists, and I was like, "All right, this is a good game." So I grabbed it early on, not knowing what I was getting into, and we learned it, or he taught it to me, one or the other. And we didn't play it we played it a bunch, and then we didn't play it for years. And then we played this. I don't remember, Carlos, maybe a year and a half ago, we played it again. And I remember your quote was, "Why don't we play this game more? I mean, this is such a good game."
And again, back to what we said with Sky Team, it's really that iteration of the theme. Like we could play, any pandemic. Name a pandemic game, right? Whatever, Star Wars or the new one, right? The Lord of the Rings coming out.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? But this one, when you're trying to save the cat, you're like, oh no, like it's
you run through all the fire to get to the token, and you flip it over, and it's blank, and you're like, really?
Oh, saved to nothing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep the game somewhat fresh in my mind because I'm waiting for my Legacy version. So Flashpoint is my
in.
So my number 6 game is Parks. What's interesting is that I went to go find this on BGA to set up a BGA game, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not on BGA. It was on BGA before. And then I did a little research, and they're coming out with a whole new version.
Yeah.
And it looks gorgeous. It really does.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
It does.
And so I like, well, let me go bust out our physical copy. And we played our physical copy as a family a couple times. And I love this game. It's you're trekking through the parks kind of thing, and you're moving through and collecting resources, and then buying the parks cards. So it's a fun, fast, quick, easy.
There's a second edition coming in 2025.
Yeah,
they're changing up a few things. They're taking some of the modules out of the night one, or I forget what it's called.
Base one, and all new artwork, and it's got all the national parks in it. They apparently lost some license for the artwork, or so that it looks gorgeous. The second edition looks amazing. Almost want to buy it, even though I own the first edition. So that was my number 6. Parks. My number 5, Fromage. I've played this game physically and on BGA. It's okay. It's good. Yeah. I enjoy it.
It's number 5 on his list.
It's a good.
Well,
it's
I only
all right.
played this January, man. We're only in January here.
It's okay.
It's all right.
I like it. It's fun.
Only top 5.
It's top 5 for January. It won't be there very long, probably.
Wayne, you're illustrating why I hate top 20 lists.
I know. But no, it's higher up than some of those games because it's kind of like a worker placement game, and I love the aspect that it's got the board that rotates, and if you place your cheese wheel out there, it could be out there for 1, 2, or 3 rounds. So if you don't play your turn right, you could go a whole turn where the board rotates and you don't have anything to play. So you have to kind of play back and forth on what cheeses you're building and what structures you build. The one thing I don't know, I've played this game a bunch now, where I'm kind of like, and I'm not sold on it yet, is that I think basically each of the 4 areas of the board that rotate around have a mini game in it, and I'm trying to figure out if one of the areas of the 4 boards is a little bit overpowered as far as scoring and game scoring, because I've seen some people score on the map pretty high and the rest of it not so much. Yeah, like Nick, 2 out of 10, top 5 all the way. But this is kind of a Euro-ish sort of worker placement game. I love the not rondel, but the rotation of the board and the various mini games, which is always good. So we got a call.
There's an expansion coming that's going to add more slices that you
Rob,
can switch out, just so you know. But go ahead. Yep.
We can't hear you, Carlos.
Carlos, you can talk now.
Oh, no, I was talking to Nick. Who called me?
Oh, just hang up on Nick.
He was one of the 3, so that's 1 down. We got 2 more to go. Welcome, Nick.
Hello and good evening, gentlemen. This is Nick from Wesley Chapel.
Yo.
Happy Thursday, guys. Long time. It's been too long. It
has been way too long.
Yeah, man. I was. I used to be a weekly caller, and then I got busy or whatever. Stopped playing. I don't know.
Life happens.
But no, but it's yeah, life happens. That's it. Still playing the games though, a little bit. So enjoying the show. Good to see the Golden Dong on the call on the show
right
now.
there. Golden Dong right there.
Good.
I'm here to help.
Love it.
Oh yeah,
Dan. My name is Nick. By the way, you may remember me from last year's game days or whatever.
Yeah, Nick, I haven't seen you in forever, so I don't know who you are.
It's been too long. No, but I right, so much to catch up on. Have been playing a little bit of games. I don't know if Bowser called in, probably not, but he hosted a big board game day mid January at this point. It's not Memorial Day, MLK weekend. And got a ton of plays in there. Did actually post my top 20, which is actually only top 15. I only managed 15 unique games so far this year.
Did Bowser come south, or did you head north?
I head north. So he has access via the extended family, to a beach house right outside of Atlantic City, up there, and in New Jersey. And so, of course, January at the beach in New Jersey is like a ghost town, but it's like one of those like really old 3-story, like literally they're putting like 7-bedroom houses. It's like one of those crazy, like, big beach houses right on the beach. Like you walk 50 feet and you hit sand.
Nice.
And it's great. We go down on the beach one time each year when we go up there before leaving, not to hang out, but just to be like, look, we're on the beach in January. This year actually was kind of magical. It was snow. There was snow on the ground. I've actually never been on the beach while there's snow there. Of course, this year during that same snowstorm, you could have done that in Florida.
I did that in Florida, yeah, Pensacola.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was neat. Made some neat pictures up there, but it was cold. It was, we got snow in northern Florida here, but I mean, it was sustained single digit temperatures there for most of the time that I was there, which was very, that's cold for that area. It can get chilly, but that's really cold for that area. But yeah, we got a bunch of games in. He hosted, it's called BowserCon, by the way, which is really cool. The guy's name we're talking about, his name is Bowser, and so it's BowserCon. And then because it's hosted, I'll just throw it out there, I think it's great, because it's technically hosted at his extended family's house, not his house, it's actually BowserCon in another castle. Obviously, the reference to the Mario games, where every time you went to go save the princess, you would beat the little mini boss, and then the princess is here; she's in another castle. So pretty funny. Had a good time. And we probably there it is. Nice. So that was fun. That accounts for 14. No, I lied. 13. 13 of the 15 unique games I played so far this year. The two that didn't play were Planet. I got to play Planet in with my kids early in the year. That's fun. Another one, Carlos, we talked about this a bunch. A determinate number of turns, which is always fun. I think it's like 14 turns or 12 turns. 12 turns. And you're filling out a 12-sided globe basically, and each turn you draft a tile and build the best world you can.
That's the magnetic pieces that one I've played with the Armada guys, Michael Fortino. We got to play that one. That was pretty interesting.
It has Cascadia vibes in that you're basically trying to make habitats for animals, but it's three-dimensional and
it's literally like an orb that you hold in your hands with facets, and then each facet has a magnet, and then you have tiles that you're drafting to try to meet certain goals to place on the planet. Each tile has different habitats on it, almost like Cascadia, where you have multiple. You can have 1, 2, or 3 different habitats on one tile. So you're trying to connect them all, and when you finish, you have this planet in your hand. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. The kids like it a lot, and since we stopped there, another difference from Cascadia is it's a race to claim the animals. The first several turns, you're just forming your world for the first time, and there's no animals available. But then the way the game is set up, the animals that will become available and the habitats that they need are publicly available. You see them. So starting in round 5, the first animal is available, and if someone has the habitat it needs, they get it. And if no one has it, it slides to the 6th round, where there's also some other animal waiting. And so you can kind of, unlike Cascadia, where it's all end game scoring, and you can kind of try to plan for it all at once. Here, there's I really want to get that animal in round 7, so I'm going to build towards it, foregoing the animal that's available in round 6, because there's no way I can do both, right, or whatever. And so it's kind of this neat thing. Anyway, so that was fun. And then last night, with my man Rob there and our guy Joe, we've got another game of Frosthaven in, which was a lot of fun. I don't know if Rob's covered Frosthaven yet.
At number 16 on his list, Nick. Number 16.
There was a big caveat on that, but
it got beat out by Bunny Kingdom. How do you feel about that?
Listen, as it is, I'm not going to lie. I actually hemmed a little bit, so I put it at 5. In fact, I was going to go through real quick my just top 5. I know you guys are doing your 20s, but Frosthaven came in at 5 for me, just because it's great. It's so solid. It's so great. The more you play it, the more you realize, oh, wow, they did this too, they did that. The number of improvements over Gloomhaven are surprising, in fact, considering it is the same system. It's just, I think we didn't even realize how samey Gloomhaven really ultimately could kind of get. Like every scenario started to feel like, yeah, I'm just going to do my thing. I have to kill all the bad guys. I get it. Boom, boom. Whereas Frosthaven is not that at all. Frosthaven is like, holy crap, that's how we win this scenario. Okay,
puzzles, yeah.
That's neat. Yeah, and so it's really cool. But yeah, it comes in at 5 for me. Great game. Joe and I did just both start new characters, and Rob got to retire his characters. These are the first characters, I think. First,
yes,
or second.
All three of us. Yeah, that was our first character. So yep.
These are the first characters that we've retired. So Joe and I already moved on to our second one just literally 2 or 3 sessions ago, and then Rob is going to move on as well. So that'll be fun. Kind of almost a reboot of the party, complete at that point. Yep. Number 4. I'll just do these real quick. Number 4 is Wormspan. Also played that with Rob.
Nice. That's on my list.
Yeah, there you go. So I've enjoyed. I did like 2 or 3 plays of Wormspan when it first came out. I know Finspan is now popular, but did 2 or 3 plays and remember thinking, okay, like it's. I think I liked it right away better than Wingspan, but it wasn't like, oh, I want to play this. Rob and I did 2-player, and I liked it a lot. It moved, it was snappy, it was fresh, like it was great. And then I actually did a teach and play then at BowserCon at 4 players. It was slower at 4, but I still had a blast, a lot of fun. So I am actually like pretty firmly entrenched in the Wormspan is better than Wingspan for me. Obviously got more going on, but I think they fixed some of the timing and balance issues as well. So I like it. 3 was Expeditions, the Scythe world. It's not a Scythe, sequel by any means, but it's set in the same world. From our good personal friend of the show, Jamie.
With or without expansion?
With Gears of Corruption. Yep. So we played with Gears of Corruption. Was actually my first play with Gears of Corruption. I liked it a lot. I still am such a huge fan of the action selection mechanic that is kind of the tie-in between the two, between Scythe and Expeditions, where you can't repeat the exact same action you did last time unless you're Ruspians or whatever. And how in Expeditions it changes it even more, because at any given time there's 3 actions and you get to do 2 of them, but which 2 you get to do changes every time until you refresh. And then you refresh, you do nothing really, it's just a refresh turn, but your next turn you get to do all 3 and it feels so good. And my guy, I think I had one of the expansion mechs. When I refreshed, I could discard a map token to still take one of the actions. And that was sweet. That was like, I'm going to refresh and move. Thank you very much. I'm going to refresh and gather, right? And so the refresh turns were not wasted. They were very strategic, knowing that then you were going to do all 3 next time. I mean, it was fun. It was great. I didn't win, but I loved playing that neck. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Number two, going to be a fan favorite, I think here, Thunder Road Vendetta. Love me some dice chucking chaos. There it is. Dan taught me this at a Dice Tower event, and so I showed up at BowserCon and they had it, and I'm like, who's playing Thunder Road? And my buddy Mike, who brought it, he had some expansion stuff too, but I think we actually just played with the base. He had like crazy. It was like some kind of all-in Kickstarter, lots of extra things. But I think it was mostly just the base game we played with. But it's so much fun. You bring your helicopter out, you blow some stuff up. I was cheering for cars, like people were like, come blow me up. It's all fine.
That's not what you said in our first play. You got real salty when we bashed those white cars off the road.
I think there was a moment in that game where like I was not winning. And I was like, what is this? Like,
Wait, what do you mean my car is eliminated?
Yeah. No, but it was fun. It was fun. And then number 1, I'm probably over my 10 minutes now. Number 1, this is a game that is not new by any means, but new to me, brand new to me.
Gonna spark some conversation here. I'm just giving you all a heads up.
Oh boy.
What's that?
Oh, so you're going to spark a little conversation here because I know there's some feelings on this one. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's funny. I'm contractually obligated to want to like this game, and then I did like it. And it's a game that BGA has been trying to get me to play. It's funny. I've seen the ad on this game for BGA like 1,000 times and never played it. And that is the spirited strategy game known as Distilled. And so Distilled was my favorite game at BowserCon there, and I hear the crickets.
With or without expansion?
I don't think it had the expansion. I think it was just the base game.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That would be way up on my list if I played it. I own it physically, so I don't count my BGA plays, but I'm going to play it soon physically, and I love it. It's a great game. Love it.
I'm still
salty. Carlos is very salty on it, and I was very lukewarm on it. I played it 3 or 4 times now, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm in a BGA game of it now, and I'm enjoying it. I will say my first play of it. This is funny. I would say a high ranking, and of course I'm right there with you, Wayne. By the way, it is only January. Distilled will not be the number 1 game in December. I'm almost positive. But although I don't know, it's good. I played it twice. I actually played it twice during BowserCon. Did not win either play. And in fact, the first game we did the math, and I was a special statistical anomaly on. There were I think 3 of the rounds. I forget if there's 7 or 8 rounds. I think 7 maybe. 3 of the rounds, I found myself in a position having to roll the dice or flip the cards. To be more specific, in other words, I was not guaranteed to make the spirit I was trying to make, but I only needed to just not draw 2 copies of the same thing I needed, right? And it was like I had like freaking 11 cards in my washback or whatever, right? And I just needed, maybe I had 4 of the wheat, and I needed, I only needed 3 wheat. So of the 11 cards, I just needed to not be discard 2 wheat, right? And that happened 2 of the 3 times that I did have a non-guarantee. Happened 2 of the 3 times, which of course wrecks your game, right? If you don't distill the thing you're trying to distill 2 out of 7 rounds, you're done. And it was just like, man, this is special. This is a special moment. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed. I like the equipment versus specialist upgrades and how you have to pick and choose your battles there. I like the aging mechanic and how you can hurry up the aging depending on things that you get. I like the different. I like the theme. I do like the theme. Like I said, I've seen this game for over a year, being like, I love spirits. Like, let's go, right? So I like this. I like the theme. I like the specialty. How everyone's got their own secret recipe that you can make right away, and you can kind of gear. I do like things that guide you, right? So like, depending on who you are, you kind of want to do this direction. So I like games to guide you like that, especially for round. A number of turns are determined. We like that as well. Like 7 rounds, boom, that's the whole game. So you can strategize and plan to run it. I mean, it's great. And then it has a luck element, which can bite you, but you can also just not try to make things that you aren't guaranteed to make. So,
you mean like your family's secret recipe of corn-based whiskey? Yeah, like the bourbon? Like, like don't try to do that if you not like 100% certain you're going to make it, because
that was it. That was it.
That was your shot. Like, mom's spaghetti.
Still saucy, man.
Don't throw that corn in, like, where it's the only thing. It's a really good game. I really enjoy the game. The science of it, the way distilling actually works. It's very thematic. I need to get the cask strength expansion because I heard it makes it even. It eliminates some of Carlos's saltiness. Puts a little sweet in that salt.
I do love the push your luck piece. I love the top and the bottom, being wild. I like it. Good game. Good call out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's a neat call out to, like, the head and the tail of the batch, right? Like, that's why it's the top and the bottom. It's the head and the tail of the distilled spirits, and so. Yeah, I think it's a well-constructed game. It's nice.
I think what a lot of people miss is some of those the distillery upgrades. There's a lot of them that either let you redistill or not remove the head or the tail, or throw back in a card or keep cards later. You really have to, like, those are where Carlos is salty. If you had one of those multiple cards that allows you to redistill or mess with the heads and tails and stuff like that, it mitigates that loss.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as a push your luck game, it actually is forgiving. First of all, the head and the tail go back into your pantry, right? They're not gone, right? They just you can use them back in your pantry, which I think when I read that rule, when I saw that rule, I was like, oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought you were just going to have to discard 2 of your washback, right? And then the other one is, of course, you can always make moonshine or the other one, whatever, vodka, right? You can always make something, so it's not a complete fail. Which I know if you're going for the 18-point, mother's milk, then having to make vodka sucks. But again, it's there, right? It's not just oops, I get nothing, because other push your luck games are, right? Other push your luck games, you fail, you crash the ship, you start over. You crash your spaceship, you start over, right? Whatever it is. Two different games there for you guys to pick from. You burn your books. Is another one. I'm trying to think of all the push your luck games that I don't like that part of it. Is like when you fail, you just fail. You're done. I hope you didn't actually want to have a turn now. Your turn was failing. Congratulations.
Wow, man.
Strong feelings.
You need to call more often so you're not venting so much.
All in one call. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Anyway.
I'm blanking on the name. What is it? Celestia? What is the ship game where you're trying to get to the night island?
Moving that ship across the board.
And then there's the recent one. It was the same thing, but spaceships with the cats or whatever.
Malem, the space agency.
Yes. Yep. And then Fire in the Library, which I think is a less game.
I like Fire in the Library. I own that one. It's good.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. Mm-hmm. That one at least is cool because it's a bag builder. I like that. It's a bag builder, and you gotta save as many books from the burning library as you can. But every time you go back in, you have a risk of just setting everything on fire, and that's the part I don't like. He's like, oh, once I save the books, I should save them, right? Like it's cool, right? But no, you go and you put your hand back in, you're gonna burn all the books. It's fine. And you're right. I got you. You guys have missed on the Nick bench. I like it. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. I'm good.
Show us on the board game box where it hurt you.
All right, very good. That was my top 5 and a little bit about Bowser Khan and a little bit about Frost David. So I think I've done my thing.
Covered it.
Sweet.
Great to hear from you, my friend.
Rock and roll, yeah. And I know I want to say there's a game day this
Saturday.
There is. There's also the board game bash, which I think a lot of people.
The big game bash. Yeah, we're competing with that down in Sarasota, so I know that's draining off a lot of people. So it probably won't be a big meetup this weekend, but I know there's at least 4, 5, 6 people committed to coming. So I think William said he's in, so we'll see him make an appearance. But yeah, I'll be there.
Cool. Okay, I think I'm good for a drop in at least. So yeah,
nice.
Hope to see you guys then.
Good. See you then.
Cool.
Thanks for calling, Nick.
Have a good night, guys.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Bye-bye.
All right. There we go. Mr. Nick Oben.
All right. Please continue, sir.
I will finish quick here. So let's see. Let's go through my top 4. So Fromage is really good. I like it. The reason why it's higher on my list is it's kind of got that Euro game flavor, which I enjoy Euro games. So that's why it's up there. I want to play.
Heads up. If the phone does ring, you might see me talking, but I'm going to be screening the call.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Go for it. My number 4. Let's go to number 4. Captain Flip. Love this game's fun. Like I played this game when it first came out, and I liked it. And then again, I think it's like in the right audience, games hit more, right? So I enjoyed this game.
Absolutely.
Played it a bunch when it first came out. Was like, okay. This is fun. This is a good little filler game. And then we all played it. The 5 idiots, right? Or,
Yep.
And it's
That's us.
It hits so much better. It's like, oh, I love playing this because then you can talk smack with your friends, and so like that short filler game where everyone knows the game and you're just playing and flipping and whatever, and people are smack talking and having fun with it. This game hits. That's where this game really like shines for me. It's a fun game to play with strangers. It really hits when you're in a group that are like, oh, you sure you want to flip that cannoneer? I don't know. If you flip it, it could be that. It's like, that's where I love it. The trash talk in this game could be great. So yeah, it hit my number 4. I'm tempted. I'm not like Carlos where I immediately went out and bought it, but I'm like, with this
it was a hit with the family. They were like, re-rack that. Let's do that again.
Yeah, it's quick enough to play. So it's like it may be on my list to buy this year.
You'd probably think about buying more games if you had 70, 80 people in your house too.
Yeah, we just got the 3 of us. So yeah, there you go. So Captain Flip, my number 4. My number 3 game, Flip 7. Love it.
Lots of flipping.
I love this game.
I love that you're putting these smaller games higher up on your list, man.
No, I love
that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I'm all about some smaller games too. I love Flip 7. I regret not picking up the copy that Carlos offered to me a month ago because
I still haven't Shrink.
I know I might steal it. I might take it back. I will say this. I do appreciate it. So Carlos had offered me the copy during Christmas. He's like, "Oh, you want it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll come pick it up," because I was gonna play it during Christmas. And I never did. And then that went by. He gave it to Rob because it was like, "Hey, you want a copy? Here you go." Which I love Carlos. He's willing to give away games like that. And then Rob brought it to the game day at the Tampa Gaming Guild. He's like, "Hey, I remember Carlos offered this to you, so I wanted to like give you the option for it." I'm like, No. He gave it to you. It's all good. And now I'm like kicking myself twice because I could have
had it. I offered it
because it's not on Amazon or it's not on game stores. It's like it's out of print.
It looks like it's going to be a late February restock. Every store that I've gone to has you can buy it now for late February shipping.
Yeah, so it's definitely a game that I'm going to own because I feel like it's a game that, like, if I travel for work, I could teach people this game. If I'm playing with non-gamers, it's a game you can teach, and then amongst gamers, it's a game that can hit. So, Flip 7, fun game, love it. Don't know if it fits the tagline of like the greatest card game ever or whatever, but it's pretty damn good. I love it.
Good marketing.
So great marketing. My number 3, Flip 7. My number 2, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, continues to be fun. I enjoy it. It's fast. It's another solo-ish game. I love the solo version because it's damn hard and it's easy to play. So it's hitting my table again. It's interesting because I think was it Tom had this higher than Terraforming Mars because he's like, I'd rather play this than Terraforming Mars because this plays faster. And I know that like Rob and Carlos are shaking their head like, no, we want that 4.5 hour Terraforming Mars.
4.5 hours.
No. Flip a coin. I'll take either. I love them both.
Yeah. But so I enjoy this game. I enjoy the speed of playing it, and certainly the solo mode over the massive Terraforming Mars.
Actually, if I remember correctly, Carlos, the person that never plays solo games, prefers this solo.
Oh yeah,
he plays it
somewhere behind me is the solo expansion. The Crisis one, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And I open them. I open everything. I look at everything.
You do not open everything.
Never play.
My number 2 Terraforming is probably going to fall down my list. Obviously, when I play other games this year, but TM is, in January I played this and Sky Team. This and Red Rising are the 2 games I played a bunch solo because I really enjoyed the plays of them. They're games that I think I like. I'm not a huge solo gamer, but if I can set up a solo game in 5 minutes and play it in 30-40 minutes, that's great. If it takes me 20 minutes to set it up, by the time I get done setting it up, I'm like, nah, I don't want to. It's too much.
I'll play this tomorrow.
Play it tomorrow maybe, and then I'll end up packing it up and not playing it. So Terraforming Mars is on there. And then currently my number 1 game right now, Creature Comforts. Played this with my family a few times this month. Love it. It hits. It scratches that Euro gamer, the dice placement, the gameplay of it, but it's simplistic enough where my 10-year-old and my wife will play it with me. So it's, spoiler alert, my number 1 family game.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too. Yeah,
talk about that too. And the next one I have Dune Imperium is I played Dune Imperium this month. It would be probably my number 1 or 2 on this list. But it is in my Hall of Fame. So, and this was the Dune Imperium. We played it with Bloodlines, I throw all Dune Imperium together. I enjoyed the gameplay. I won the game, so hey, great. But it's on my Hall of Fame, so I don't count it in my top 20. But I want to mention that I had played it. It would be on my list, but it is not on my list because it's on my Hall of Fame. And there's my top 15 or 12 or whatever it is.
Thank you, Wayne. I got some comments in there that came through. Ace and Deuce says, I didn't even realize till now that you changed your name. Ha! He's talking about Dan changing his name in midstream. Yep. Then we've got Jason coming in with, the only problem with the physical version is the bag is too small on Captain Flip. I don't disagree with you. I'm hoping that there'll be a BGG bag like they did for Draftosaurus. Where they came out with a printed artwork, bigger bag for those of us with ham-sized hands. Jason says Flip 7 hit alpha on BGA. Yep, we've been playing here. The Beans and Dice crew has been playing, and Jason is right. It is better in person, but I like it more than I thought on BGA. I will say real time.
It has
We're
to
doing
be
our
real
first
time, man.
Yeah.
Turn-based one, and I am struggle bussing because it doesn't keep the tension. Like I get to my turn, and I'm like, okay, hit. Oh, I'm out. Oh, I'll see y'all in the next round.
See in the next few days.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you just gotta play like 75 games at a time, like Dan and I, and then
that one you don't have to remember what you were doing. As soon as you come back
Dan,
to it,
Dan the retired one, and Wayne the one that works for the government. You know,
hey, you guys all
that explains a lot right there.
Yeah, I don't know where you guys find the time. I don't even have a job, and you guys play more games than me, so I have no clue.
Just wait till you see my top 20 this time.
All right.
And on that note,
Mike, you're top 20.
Whip it out.
Like a golden dong. Whip it out.
Whip it out.
Hey,
You're up, Mike.
All right, let's see here.
And feel free to call in and interrupt us. We love it. We need more calls.
There was at least 2 more people on the Discord, so they were calling in this week. So just not naming names, Chris or Kyle.
Interrupt me.
We will block the phone lines.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. In my fashion of straying from the normal here. So I've only got 2 plays in this month or last month.
Are you even a gamer?
Yeah, I know, man. It's just like, what the hell, dude? So my 2025 total so far: 2 plays, 2 unique games. None were new to me. 1 was my copy, and I think the number of players is wrong. I think it's actually higher. I think it's like 14 unique players already.
Wow.
But I'll have to go back. And,
I know that's a high average.
One of those
7 per game.
Clock tower.
Big ass game of Yahtzee.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to be real quick on my end, and you're going to see the top 2 immediately because I can't scroll through anything. But actually, here we go. All right. So my number 2 is going to be Time Stories.
Nice.
Finally, we're playing this with the same
10 people.
My wife. What'd you say?
The same 10 people.
10 people. That's how you get
12. My wife and I are friends. They're a couple, and we played the first scenario with them, and they had us over for dinner one night, and they're like, "Oh yeah, bring Time Stories. We're gonna have a few other people over, So brought it over. We started the second scenario, which unfortunately, Rob, we discussed this a few weeks ago, maybe. It's one of the worst scenarios. It's the RPG.
Dragons,
that was probably my least favorite. Yeah,
it's pretty rough, and we haven't finished it yet, but we got to the part where you switch the decks out in the game. I don't want to give anything else away, but that's where we kind of like packed everything up. But we had 8 different people playing that game. We paired up, so we had like 2 people each controlling one of the markers and playing it that way, which I think it would have been better if it was more like the Insane Asylum one, where it was like, look at this photo and, kind of describe it without, holding it in your hand. Whereas this one, it's like you're constantly reading text as it's, going on. So didn't hit as hard. And it definitely would have been lower on my list if I had more games played last month.
Had to be 1 or 2.
Yeah, right. It's only 1 or 2. So it's at the bottom of the list so far for January.
All right. Hopefully it gets better for you.
Yeah. And my number 1 game was Frank Herbert's Dune, the 1979. Nice. We played this full player, 6 players on this one. So yeah, I should be at 14 unique players. This just...
I wasn't even alive when this game came out.
If I keep playing this game throughout the year, which I think I will, this could possibly be easily like in my top 3. It just gets better and better and better with every single play. And it really does take multiple plays to appreciate this game and the whole, which factions work better with other factions when it's time to get your teams going, and anything could happen, like when the sandworm shows up, and it's just a great game. And the friend that I play with, Scott, he had like all the files and he sent them out to be professionally printed. That was before they remade this game and re-released it recently. So he's got like wooden tokens, and I mean everything is like really. He's got like a huge neoprene mat, that holds everything. So very cool game. Highly recommend it. And the community is 100% accurate on BGG, where it is best at 6. This is, if you know how to play it, you're still in it for at least 3 hours if the game goes, like it should. Sometimes it ends much earlier. Sometimes it'll end a little bit later, but you're easily looking at about 3 hours on this game. But anyway, yeah. So that's my top 2.
Nice.
Anywho, that's me.
Thank you,
right,
Mike.
nice.
Mike's top 20. And as we prepare now for Dan's top 20 update list, I'm getting kind of a glitch here. Something's wrong with my system here. I think the AI is coming. The AI is coming. And my understanding is that the AI has taken over Dan's top 20 list, as it's known by Dan. He plays by his own rules. What do you got for us, Dan?
Oh yeah, I'm a madman, aren't I? All right, so I don't want to do a top 20 list because I haven't played that many games, and I don't like those lists anyway.
Good for you.
So I decided we're going to play a game. I and my good friend Chat GPT, we're talking about making a new game. Oh, there it is.
Friend.
And what I did is I uploaded well-known board game box covers to it, and I told it to reinterpret them in a different style, completely different from whatever the art on the box was.
Boy.
Don't worry, there's nothing. It's not that bad. Not like that.
There's not a lot of golden dongs.
Not the graphic.
No, there will be from now on. There'll be a
there will be from now on.
Like an Easter
Now that
egg.
you said it, give
It's
me an
like-
idea.
It'll be like an Easter egg.
It's like
Yeah, there'll be a
PTA
little-
where they put the little
Little
Simpsons
hidden dogs.
character and all
Right,
that.
right, yeah,
Golden
my-
dong.
Golden Dawn, got it. So I have to figure out how to. So you said I press present.
Present it and either
Share
share
screen?
screen or share window. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I've done that. And I guess
Somebody's got to give you rights.
Carlos or somebody's got to say okay.
I'm waiting to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Did you click OK on that, Dan?
I did.
Must be that Dade City internet.
I don't know what's going on.
Speaking
Oh,
of
well.
quality content,
I
Exactly.
know. Oh, there it is. Found it. My bad. I've never done it before.
There we go.
Oh, I know that one.
All right. So I'm keeping score, so don't blurt them out. Everybody just take a second to look at it.
no.
I'm gonna-
So all right, so these are actual games, is what you're saying?
These are actual games. Yes. It
Okay.
redid the covers of actual board games.
Okay, I
And
know
I'm
this
just-
one.
I'm going to keep score, so we'll just go around. Start with Carlos. What do you got?
Arc Nova?
Yep.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Arc Nova.
All right. So that was an easy one. Everybody got
Yep.
a point there. So it's a tie game right now. We're only doing 5 of these. It won't take too
It was
long.
like a Halo zombified Arc Nova.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
It's like
the eyes
Stargate.
there on
It's
the-
like a Stargate thing.
If-
going
if
on.
somebody
and-
could bring up the cover of Arc Nova, you'll see that there's like a
Yeah, there
Uh,
is an arc in the back, like an
yeah.
arch in the
Arch.
back.
Archway.
Yep. So-
Mm.
a lot
Yeah,
of them. That one's pretty easy to see. Some of them might be a little bit more difficult than others. So let me move to the next one.
Oh, I know this one.
All right, give it a minute.
Yeah, I know this one. I think. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Wait, do we
everybody
type them
ready?
in and do we all hit enter at the same time? Like, how do we do this? Like,
My keyboard's not working, so I can't do that.
Oh, I'm not
No,
typing.
no. We'll worry
Honor
about
system.
Go on the
Honor
honor
system.
system.
that
Yeah.
in the future version. All right.
Well,
So
I'll
we'll
write
start
mine down in case you.
Yeah, I'm
you-
right. I
Okay.
got mine.
steals
now.
it.
I'm going to buy everybody dry erase boards for future games.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I love dry erase.
I got a pen. I can write. I got something to write
All right.
on.
All right, everybody. If everybody has something just to write on, go ahead. That
I
way,
got
at least
you.
if somebody thinks you're lying, you can show it to us.
Hold on.
I got a piece of paper.
I got a napkin.
That'll work.
That's what I'm using.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
I think this is the name of the game.
I got it.
Now,
All
if you're close enough, so we'll start at the bottom this time on my screen. Mike, Rob,
Oh, that Skyrise is probably it. I did Euphoria.
Wayne.
Skyrise.
And what you got, Carlos?
Skyrise.
That's probably it.
Everybody got it except Rob.
Womp, womp, womp.
Womp womp.
Rob is in last place.
Yes.
All right. Next one, number 3.
Oh.
Holy mackerel.
Oh, I know it.
I know it.
I need a second on this one.
No, you're good.
I don't know.
I got it.
I'll tell you, doing this is pretty fun, and it didn't take me very long, not many iterations. I didn't have to, every now and then it would come up with something a little weird, and I'd just tell it to look at the picture again and keep the aesthetic and different things and the number of objects, and it did pretty good.
I gotta learn how to do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, so we'll start with Wayne. Wayne, what do you got?
Take my love, take my land. Firefly.
All right, what do you got?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rob, what do you got?
I was going to say Great Western Trail. I have no clue, but yeah, it's Firefly, I'm sure.
Mike, what do you got?
I had Western Legends.
I also had Western Legends.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
Firefly.
got it.
Oh, how's that not Firefly?
All right,
You know,
don't give it
that's-
up yet. Anyone in the chat? Anyone in the chat? If you have
Oh,
no
man.
opine,
See if
Jason
anyone
was
in the
playing
chat
there,
can get it. Now, remember, it's reinterpreting it, so it may not have everything in the exact same spot on the box. And you say Firefly, which is funny. I told it to reinterpret this game cover as Firefly.
Oh,
really?
that's how you got Wayne.
Oh,
In that
is
style,
this?
like a space western, I called it.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
is it?
I'll wait
versus-
for-
not versus-
I can't remember the
versus
name of the
Venus,
game.
Right.
All right, nobody in the
Anyone
chat has answered it, so
I'm
It's
I'm
the
gonna.
Z one.
Can I take a second guess? I won't get the
Yeah.
point. But can I take a second guess?
Yeah.
Is it Terraforming Mars?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
So let me pull it up here. Oh, I don't have this one saved. Oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah, like how I
No,
said
no,
Firefly, and everyone else is like, "Oh, they definitely Firefly."
No, I know the game if somebody else wants to bring it up on the screen. Oh, I think I can do it here, can't I? Hold on, let me.
Yeah, I can do it too.
I got you, bro.
Right. All right. I
What
think
is
it's
it?
I think this one was Arcs when I put it in.
Oh, interesting.
Australia was the one I was thinking, the one that's AZ Australia.
Oh, I see it now. Here, let me swap my screen in here.
Yeah.
Arcs.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Yep. Very cool.
Huh.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
All right.
Arcs.
All right.
Rob's
so we
going
still
last
have
place.
Yep, Rob's still in
Yep,
last
still
place.
last.
We have a three-way tie for first.
Nobody's going perfect, though.
Yeah.
Nobody's going perfect. All right, number 4.
Oh, I know what this is.
What the hell is that?
I know what it is. All right, I'm ready.
80s Sears Christmas catalog.
Looks like
Exactly.
Christmas Vacation meets.
A horrible LCD or LSD trip.
I could be wrong,
right.
but I think I know what it is.
So we didn't start with Rob yet. So Rob, what do you got?
Finspan? I have no clue.
Mike, what do you got?
Finspan.
Carlos,
Finspan.
Wayne.
Really?
Finspan.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
Where does-
yes.
Where's the truck and all that come from?
It's a big fish in the middle.
Well, that was it. That was my reason I guessed it. That's the whole rest of it. It's all garbage.
There is
so-
so little on that box. Whenever I did it, it was
Oh,
just
all right.
so
Just
obvious.
filling in shit.
And then some podcast I was listening to from the 80s when I was doing this, and they mentioned the Sears catalog, and I'm like, oh, I told it to make it look like an ad from an 80s Sears Christmas
that's
catalog,
funny.
and
Oh,
it literally
there you go.
put it on the damn picture there.
Okay.
80s years Christmas catalog.
All right. Is this
All
the
right,
last one?
we still got a 3-way tie. Rob, if they
Nice.
get it wrong and you get it right, everybody wins.
That ain't gonna
Oh,
happen.
there you go. No pressure, Rob.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ay,
I
Dios
know this
mío.
one.
Hang on. What is this?
I know it.
Oh, what's the name of it? Oh shit. That's not the name of it.
I think we get it wrong. I don't know.
If you can't remember the name, Rob, I'm wrong on this one.
Oh no, well then you're probably right. I'm probably thinking of something else. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. 5 seconds on the clock.
I'm ready.
All right, we'll start back up at the top here. Carlos.
I got SETI.
Wayne.
Nucleum.
Mike has SETI. Rob, what did you have?
I can't remember the name of the game. Terraforming Mars. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the game I was thinking of.
It's just making up shit now.
Yeah, I got to get it with all of you missing it. So there you go.
So who had SETI?
2 of them.
That was Mike and Carlos. You two are correct.
Winner,
My man. My man.
No, that's not the one I was thinking of.
It was the satellite dishes that did it for me.
I get the satellite dishes, yeah.
But there weren't that many on the SETI cover, but I had to trust that AI went like
crazy.
We're gonna search everywhere.
I was thinking nuclear just because like the it looked like nuclear explosion and they had that like green thing in the foreground there. That
Dan said redo this one like Into the Electric Castle by Arion.
Sure. No, yeah, I looked at the cover of SETI after it did it a couple of times, and then it finally came up with this, and I was like, it's close enough. It's got the satellite dishes, and there's the guy there, and there's a vehicle over there, just like on the other cover. So, on this one,
Carlos, do a search for Into the Electric Castle album. Just look for an image of it. It's not a board game, but go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, and this one, I think I told it to do it in a dark fantasy style, but go ahead and still keep the satellite dishes.
Oh, geez, you're not kidding. That's quite on point.
Pull it up.
Let me see if I can get an image.
This is a great album too, by the way, if you like concept albums.
And present. How do I share this?
More great content.
There we go.
Yeah,
it's great radio, folks.
Quiet.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Very dark, very brooding.
Go to the. There's another image. That's really not.
Not the one.
Not quite.
Yeah, there's like a back of the CD cover that.
What is a CD you speak of? These kids don't know what you're talking about.
I know. What is
right now? $249. Who?
Yeah, Carlos is. Oh, the top row, 5th one to the right. That one is probably a little bit better. Yeah, zoom in on that one. That's what I was thinking of. I guess it's not so right, but
the clouds, the sky. It really combined that. AI is so creepy.
Cool. Yeah, I like that image, man. That's pretty slick.
There's a bunch of interesting things that he came up with. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do more and just have them ready for whenever we want to do them throughout the. And I also have a couple other of the review game. So we got plenty of stuff. Also, when you guys were talking about your top 20, I looked up Nucleum and I went to the bad reviews. I just want to read one and see.
Here we go. Yeah, let's hear them.
See if the people that have played the game agree. It says, who's Turksy? Turksy, is that the designer?
Yeah, the designer.
It says, Turksy is almost as bad as Lacerda. Micro details for the sake of design and all overwrought in a genre I loathe. Particularly a poster child for that's all that's wrong with the Euro gaming these days. Themeless, soulless, no replayability beyond 1 or 2 plays until the next similar tile becomes flavor of the month. Heavy Euros that are so bloated they drown in their own vomit.
Nice.
I like it.
So the people who played Nucleum, is that accurate?
That's rough.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was okay.
I haven't played it enough to make a
I've only played
comment on
once,
that.
So I was lost.
In the words of Peter Griffin, Family Guy, Peter, it insists upon itself.
Oh yeah.
It says it's cool.
All right.
Well, that gets us to the end of a great episode. We got our top 20 in.
Wait, we're not going to do OGG?
You know, we are at the end of the night.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's been a long night.
We didn't even get to This Week in Gaming.
I know. So what's crazy is with last week's 5th Thursday game day, this means that next week, our This Week in Gaming will be this 3 weeks in gaming. So it'll be like a culmination of 3 weeks of gaming for what we've played, hauls, and then catching up on OGG stuff.
That's fine.
I do want to hear OGG though. Like we always say that, like, okay, I'm going to end the show, and then we sit here for 15 minutes just talking about OGG. So might as well. We know we're going to do it, so we might as well just do it right here. and get the OGG going. So the OGG is the other geeky goodness. These are other things that we've done as of late that aren't exactly gaming related, but they're geeky in certain ways. Whatever the other hobbies we have and enjoy.
Or mostly TV and other stuff.
Movies and such, yeah.
And trailers that pop up. And
the Fantastic Four trailer.
Yeah. What you got, Mike, on your OGG?
I think last week I mentioned, or was it last week? I don't remember. It was a new show on Hulu called Paradise.
Yes, you did.
Have you guys watched any of that yet?
It's on my list next.
Okay. So episode 4 came out, I think yesterday or the day before. And episode 1 was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Then episode 2 is kind of like, as I'm watching it. But then at the very end, it's like, oh, all right, you got me hooked for another episode. And then episode 3 was exactly the same way. It was like kind of, And then it got to the end. It was like, oh, man, this show is going to be so good. And then it finally has picked back up a little bit on episode 4. So if you can get through episodes 2 and 3, I think hopefully it's going to improve from here on out, because it's a lot of things are starting to come around on that. And then the only other thing I think was, I'm not going to talk about the Fantastic Four trailer because I'm sure somebody else will bring that up. What was the other thing? Oh, Severance we've been watching. I think those are the only two really.
Have you gotten to American Primeval?
I watched the first episode. And it's so funny. Like, I sit down and, sometimes my wife is reading the book on the couch, we kind of like hand the remote back and forth. And I just started this. And as soon as like the first scene starts, she's like, oh my God, this show is so effing good. I binged this like no time. So she had already watched it, but I knew. She's like, I'd sit here and watch the whole freaking series again. This show is that good. So I watched the first episode, and I'm definitely coming back around to it, but I can tell it's going to be a heavy show. Like I gotta be mentally ready for it. Yeah. But it is definitely right up my alley where I want to watch this show. Yeah. So I did start it, first episode down, but nice. Yes, the rest of it,
my brother is the kind of guy, he wakes up at like 5 a.m. to go run like 8 miles. So he usually is in bed by like 9 o'clock at night. And I had told him about this show, and like Monday and Tuesday night of this week, I get text messages from him at like 11:45 at night. He's like, F you. He's like, I got one episode to go. I guess I'll watch it tomorrow. And then like at like 12:30, he's like, fucking, I watched the whole show. He's like,
amazing.
He binged in like 2 days. He was like, it's like, I guess I'm not running tomorrow. I'm like, sorry.
That's great. Yeah, definitely going to go back to it.
Yeah, I think I'm 4 episodes in, doing 2 per night. I can't do too many in the evening, but I'm with you. It is heavy. Now
you watching it through VidAngel?
Yes, which is good for me because there's some heavy topics in there that, I don't need to worry about that stuff, but it still comes through.
Yeah,
there's some grape scenes, right? Situations. So it's just,
you don't need to. Yeah.
Don't need to worry about that. I can tell, and I didn't lose anything. That's what I love, is when a show is able to convey its message without having to show something. Like when you see the female lead and what she's dealing with, you're like, oh.
So I'm curious. In the first episode, did they show the?
Yes.
Part?
Yeah, because I put on the gore. All the gore is fine.
Oh, okay.
I can do the gore.
Right. Sexual violence, regular violence is fine. Sexual violence, take it off. Yeah, I get you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
man, it's getting good. It's
and
getting real good.
Like obviously the head of the Mormon Church is a real life physical person, but actually the guy who owns the fort, Bridger. Fort, that's a real life guy, historically accurate. And the second in command of the Mormons, Wild Bill, they call him.
Tolis.
He's a tall guy with like whatever. He's a real life character. He's historically accurate character. And he was so vicious that even during the Mormon War, the Mormons excommunicated him for being like so brutal.
You got to be pretty bad, man.
Like, and only 8 of his 10 wives divorced him when he was excommunicated.
Only 8. Wow.
Man. Wild Bill must be wild then. Two of them stayed.
Right? Yeah, 2 of them stayed.
He's got them in a closet somewhere, nailed to the floor or something.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're like, damn.
I love it's okay. So I think about as I watch television, a lot of like adventure television. I think of role playing games. I think of adventure games. Like you think of like events and scenarios that
would be Deadlands all day long.
Right, like this one. Like I love the enemies that come from everywhere. The nature, the people that you're with, the people that are out there, bandits, natives. Like it's just everywhere you look, something's trying to kill you. And you're right, Wayne, almost like the Fallout feel of it. They can't trust no one. You're going to meet all kinds of people out there. Very Fallout feel.
Yep.
Cool. Great call on American Primeval. I think it was Dan that introduced that to us.
Dan, yep.
Yeah. Good show.
I watched You Are Cordially Invited. This is a recent addition to Prime. It's a Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon comedy. I'm not going to say it was amazing. I'm going to say I had a good time. I laughed. I enjoyed it. Both actors, Will Ferrell, Reese Witherspoon, my wife and I have always enjoyed the majority of their films. Having them together was a bit different, right? Because I don't think I ever expected the two of them to be together in a film.
Yeah, those don't seem to cross, but yeah.
But they did, and it worked out great. It was very enjoyable. I think my favorite part is the actor, Jack McBrayer. He's the voice. The only way I really knew him was he is the voice of Felix in Wreck-It Ralph. Like that voice is so iconic. Like so, I'm like I know that voice from somewhere, and he was hilarious. Great. It's a movie about two different families who double book a small hotel on an island in the South. So like I think it's in Georgia, off of a lake. Each of them trying to get married at the same time. So now they have to find a way to come together to allow these two weddings to happen. And it's all the fun shenanigans of how they plot against each other. And it's just great. You Are Cordially Invited. It's a good wifey date night movie.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right. Cool.
Anybody else got some OGG out there?
Yeah, so I watched this week on Netflix 2 spy shows. One's called The Night Agent, and the other one is called The Recruit. Both of them are kind of like Spy 24, Jason Bourne-ish type stuff. They're not great, but they're fun popcorn watches. So they're not like, oh my God, you go watch them right now. But it's like if you have time, watch them. Very 24-ish for The Night Agent. There's traitors side of the government, and this one he's an FBI agent. He's trying to find who the traitor is, and he's on the run because everyone thinks he's a traitor type thing. And then the recruit is out of college, lawyer, goes to work for the CIA and gets thrown in way over his head and into like it's international espionage. So pretty good. And then one that is only probably for the Catholics in the audience, but Conclave is a movie I watched.
Deneen watched. My wife watched that. She said it was pretty good.
It was pretty good, and there's a little twist at the end that may or may not be for everyone. But if you're, the Pope dies and a conclave is held to elect a new Pope, and it goes into all the sort of machinations and political backstabbing and intrigue that even Catholic bishops have when they're trying to become the next Pope. So interesting movie. So
I'm laughing because just today I saw some guy post in Reddit. His car was smoking. It was like blowing out a bunch of white smoke. And he's like, I don't know what happened to my car. And somebody in the comments said, man, your car just voted in the new Pope.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, nice.
Funny.
I still remember watching like every day, like, okay, it's black smoke. They haven't decided. It's black smoke. They haven't decided. It's white smoke.
Yep. And then I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to, I love Colin Firth as an actor. And Peacock just released Lockerbie, which is about one man's search for the truth to the Lockerbie, bombing, which happened years ago. So,
interesting.
Interested in watching that. Yep. So, yep.
Real quick, one I've started watching on Netflix is called Wyatt Earp and the Cowboy War. And this is a little docuseries. It's just 6 episodes. I think each one about an hour long. I'm a huge fan of the movie Tombstone. I can quote that movie backwards and forwards. This is bunch of historians, old Wild West historians, who are telling kind of some of the truths and some of the falsehoods and where most of the movies, most of the stuff about Wyatt Earp ends. Most of those stories end at the shootout at the OK Corral. This one actually starts at the shootout at the OK Corral. It's narrated by Ed Harris. His voice is just smooth and silky, really good. He does a really good job. They have actors
Bob had to change his pants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have actors who play out little scenes in the history and the timeline. But it's actually interesting. I'm learning a lot, even though I considered myself a little bit of a fan, not a huge history buff, but just. Wyatt Earp and the Earps were arrested for murder after the shootout at the OK Corral. And this gets all into the politics of the murder trial that happened afterwards. Gets really into the history of what was going on. Again, not being a history buff, I didn't realize that the shootout at the OK Corral in the Wild West, this part of history, was only about 25 years after the Civil War. And so this was just all kinds of, they get into the background of the turmoil, the state that the country was in. J.P. Morgan has a big role in this because he went overseas to try to get, from J.P. Morgan Chase, the big banker financier. He was trying to buy up all the railroads because the railroads in the United States were failing. And so he went over to England and was meeting with the kings and dukes and stuff over in England, trying to get them to finance him to come back and consolidate the railroads because he had a plan on how to rebuild the railroads and make connect all the railroads together and make it a big transportation thing. But the news from the shootout at the OK Corral and how wild the West was blowing up over in England, and nobody over in Europe wanted to support anything in the U.S. because the U.S. was seen as this turbulent place, just had a big war, nobody wanted to back it. And so part of the whole history on this that they're going over is how this affected, what was going on overseas, how people were looking at the country, and just really fascinating. I've 6 episodes. I've watched 4 of the 6, so I've got 2 more to go. But this has really reeled me in. I'm really interested. My wife was kind of watching it casually in the first one, and then now she's all over it. She's like, this show is really good. She goes, we got to watch the last 2. So it's really hooked her in too. So this is if you like Wild West docuseries, the history. It's really good. It's got some good stuff there. Ike Clanton, it talks all about the Cowboys, the history of the Cowboys. The term used to be a negative term, and now it's, people look at Cowboys, the really cool thing. Cowboys used to be cattle rustlers who would sneak in the middle of the night into Mexico, steal cattle, and bring them across the border, put them on trains, send them up to the Northeast where they would sell for ridiculous amounts of money because beef was really hot in the Northeast. And so just lots of cool facts I'm learning, and so I'm really enjoying the series.
Makes you want to play some Western legends,
so,
doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I had to bounce out. I had to bounce out because my cat knocked over a glass bottle in the kitchen. But
bummer.
Are you talking about the Netflix kind of like quasi docu series about the OK
Wyatt
Corral?
Earp and the Cowboy War?
Yes,
yeah,
awesome. I watched that.
It's really good. Yeah, really I'm good. Really enjoying it.
Because I like how they show clips of it, but then intersperse the history of it and goes back and forth. Really good.
And they've got actors playing out the big scenes and stuff. And so, it's really cool. And then, like I say, Ed Harris doing a really awesome narration, kind of going over the history and talking about stuff. It's really good. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. That's been my big one, new one.
Dan, any OGG over there?
Yeah, but first, just hearing Rob talk about that the way that it used to be with the country in turmoil and Europeans looking at us like we're crazy and stuff like that. I'm really glad that something like that has never happened again. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, history repeats itself multiple times
over time.
Doesn't matter.
Disappointingly so, yes.
Right.
Other geeky goodness. American Primeval. I finished that a while ago. You guys were talking about that. Before I watched that, I didn't really see any Westerns for a long time besides Tombstone that I seem to watch every 6 months or a year anyway. That really didn't interest me at all. But now after that, I wanted to watch another Western, and my wife found Godless, and we finished binging that. And if you like American Primeval, this is really, really good too. I mean, it's not as gritty and nasty as that, but I mean, it's still a really high quality show. So now I have to go watch Rob's documentary that he just talked about. Because now I'm just on like this.
He just did that whole
Western quick
Western
because
kid.
everything I'm watching is so good. I just want to keep finding something else. So
Next week you'll have a cowboy hat on and
spurs and boots
and a golden dong.
Yeah,
and a golden dong hanging out there.
Just
and
do
chaps.
not,
Just
do not,
chaps.
do not watch Horizon.
Okay, I'll pass. I believe you. You told me about that Kevin Costner abomination. So
bad. I actually finished the entire first movie of it, the 3 hours of it. I went back and finished it, and I'm like, God, this sucked.
I would watch Waterworld again.
I'm glad you watched it. Took one for all of us. Yeah,
for sure. I'd watch Waterworld. Yeah,
I am a Waterworld fan.
I mean,
I get it.
I'd watch it just for Dennis Hopper.
Yeah,
right. The eyeball, like it's battles. It's.
Do not say Battlefield Earth. I'll fly over there and smack you right in the face, man.
Like the tongue. Oh man, that's an awesome. I like that campiness of the
Battlefield Earth isn't campy, man. Waterworld
late '90s.
Postman's campy.
I have a video
Battlefield Earth is
that I got for you about it. It's about Battlefield Earth. I'll send that to you.
The only other thing that I've got, if you're done, Dan.
Oh, I'm done.
All right. I started playing Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl on PC. This is probably why I don't get very many board games played. Starting out pretty good. If you've ever played the first Stalker game, kind of similar, kind of buggy like that one was, but it's very interesting. I've played, I reloaded a couple of save games like multiple times, and every time I went through it, it was like the enemies are acting differently. They take different paths and everything. So it's very interesting. Good game. I recommend it so far.
We want to throw a quick shout out about what we're doing Wednesday night, Carlos.
Oh, this Wednesday?
Yeah.
That's this Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was just asking, you had a blank stare there. I was like, well, maybe I got the wrong day.
I got to get my calendar out. That's the Wednesday that we've been invited over to the board game rundown with Tim and Mike.
Yeah.
Tim and Mike.
Yep.
Make sure I get that right. They're going to talk about favorite family games. I think my selections will be weighted more because I have the biggest family of all. Right? And how that works, like
in the U.S., the biggest family.
I think what prompted it is the board game rundown guys are pretty good about. They love bringing on just guest hosts from all other shows and designers and all this stuff. And I think that they heard about the game day that you guys did with the kids with cancer, so they want to hear about that, and then that'll spin into will now give us games with kids and families. Give us our top 5 family games. These are games that we play with our family. So it'll be interesting. And I think we're going to simulcast it to allow phone calls because they love the idea of the phone call.
They like the idea of call-in. So yes, be on the lookout. We will simulcast it on this channel because they do want to get some calls to hear from people. It's a different medium, and you kind of heard the excitement in Ace and Deuce's voice when he called in. Like it sounds like he's a Twitcher, right? Like he said he's maxed out his follows on Twitch.
Not a tweaker. He's a Twitcher.
That's messed up. But the idea of a show that it's call-in, like the nature of call-in is so different, and it's I love it. I love the personal connection.
Same. Yep.
So thank you for the reminder on that.
Yeah, looking forward to that Wednesday.
You guys have your we have a game day, right? You have a game
Saturday.
day set up.
Yep, we're doing that at Alex's house. Yep.
I'll be doing ROTC stuff this Saturday, Big Battle of the Bulls that my son's in charge of. Speaking of that, big shout out to my son. He got nominated for Cadet of the Year for Hillsborough County.
What?
He came in 5th place, which I think is pretty cool. Hillsborough being the 7th largest county in the U.S. School district.
7th largest school district in the United States, yeah.
And to be in the top 5 of that school district for Cadet of the Year is pretty amazing honor. I told him don't be ashamed that you didn't get the top 3 to move on to states.
Man. That's awesome.
So we'll be at USF. He'll be running that competition. So I wish you all the best. Have fun. Play a lot of games. And then call in and tell us about them. Like, that's the whole idea. So, mad props to you guys for showing up. Thank you very much. Mad props to all the callers and the commenters out there. Jason, from start to finish.
Yes.
From the first comment all the way to after 11.
That's what I'm talking about.
There. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. And those who didn't call last week, who said they were going to call in this week, or didn't call in this week, who said they were going to call in on the Discord, get ready for next week. Queue them up.
All right. Well, I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
I'm Wayne.
I'm Golden Dong.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Shut that cat up.